Schmuel.
Scene would not hurt. There we go. Hey guys, I'm Schmuel Buckman. It's Saturday night. We are not in the backyard because it's way too cold out there for me. And let me bring in my fantastic guest, Mr. JayMoe Inc., Dabbleverse podcast, YouTube star.
Oh, you're
And
the star.
how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I just got set up outside and realized it's way too cold. So we
Yeah, it's
move
too cold
we
over
move
there on the East Coast.
we moved inside. It's actually, you know what? It's actually a nice night. It's just that to sit in the chair with the wind going,
You're
um
near water, that's why.
I would probably be chilly. And I thought, why the hell would I do that to myself and my poor guest? So I have a feeling the backyard streams are going to be more indoor streams for a bit, although I did promise an October hot tub stream. So we're going to get that one done at some
Oh
point.
yeah, okay, all right. I'm not gonna do that one with you though. I'm gonna skip that one. The hot
No,
tub.
that one I
I don't
wanted
have
to
the body
bring
for it.
that one I wanted to bring Cookie in for, and then I'm hoping that the Ricadas are
No,
available.
don't
Um,
don't bring your wife into this circus,
no,
please.
I know. She's been to the events with me. People do know her and they do like her. So that's cool, which means that guys like Rob Saul will go after her, who's already gone after her. All right. My sound okay? You can hear me? Is that all
Yeah,
good?
yeah, you sound fine. How do I sound? Do I sound great?
You sound great. And your mic is good too. So
I'm still using this junker, but I'm getting a new one I think next week. So.
the only reason why I got a new one, let's just see if we can do this a little bit. Yeah, it's better. The only reason why I wound up getting a new one and a better one has to do with I moved from place to place to do this. Sometimes from work, sometimes from up in the city, and then sometimes down here at the beach.
Yeah.
And when I was in my office, and it sounded like I was streaming from an empty warehouse. And
Uh,
no matter what I did, I couldn't fix it. And so this hopefully will work. And I made much of a fool of myself. And Rochi's breaking my balls, so just uh,
good.
and our sound is good on YouTube, so there you go, Rochi. And Rochi actually has a link. I wanted to spend about an hour with you, and then I'm going to bring in some other people. You're welcome to stay. You're welcome to go. I did not check to see who's arguing or fighting with who in the Dabbleverse, so you know, I don't know. But a panhandler will be on, and I know he's been busting your balls all week.
Yeah, I'm the number one Panhandler fan. That's why he's busting my balls because he knows I'm his number one supporter.
Oh, see the main I wanted to have you on because I wanted to ask you questions and stuff, but the main reason to do it there was an imperative to it because Panhandler said, if he comes on, I'm never coming on your channel again.
It's your co-host,
And
to be
and
fair.
I was like, well, I guess we're not going to see you no more. And then
He's being a
and then I
stinker. He's being a stinker. But
oh
that's not his fault. He's just trying to be cute. But he's your co-host. Of course, he'll be back on. He's so
well he
ridiculous.
yeah he likes to think he's my co-host, and I let him think that, but
Everybody knows it. That's your
then
co-host, man.
oh, he gets all pissed. It's very funny because then he'll get pissed off
Hmm.
when I don't send him the link. I guess I don't count anymore, and he,
Hmm.
he, wants me to beg him.
You got a piece of that Schmuel bump.
Yeah, I wish there was a Schmiel bump. Um, and let's just so I like to do a quick. So luckily we've got 29 people watching us strictly on YouTube. Um, we are not streaming anyplace else. So
Keep it exclusive. I love it.
we'll throw the well. I have to be perfectly honest. One, it's not like I get like scads of people anyway, but the Twitter thing was making me crazy because it shows the number, but it's an aggregate number, so it never goes down.
Hmm.
And you look over at you could look at and on Evmux, the view count combines them. So you would look at it and it would look like you'd have like 150 viewers. Um, and that would just make me crazy.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
anytime somebody scrolls past it because it plays a little bit.
yeah, yeah. If they watch it, according to the article they read, they said if it's 5 seconds and it's more than like 30% of the screen,
Yeah, it's not.
but unfortunately, it doesn't go down. So then what happens is you start thinking that you have more people than you do, or if you're a guy like Steel Toe, you start counting those numbers to make your numbers not seem that bad. And I didn't feel like I was able to criticize other people for counting Twitter numbers if I
Don't
was going to
worry
do it
about it. Fuck
myself.
them.
And so, no, it's all good. It's all good. But it
Fuck
helps
'em.
keep me honest, um, which is never a bad thing. So
Well,
Cigarette Jones,
tell these
one.
degenerates that you don't need this fucking YouTube for money. Like, it's fine.
Well, look, I don't need YouTube, and it's
I
costing
know.
me more money than I'm making.
Tell me
So
about it. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
I'm about to buy a microphone. I think I've had like 25 people ever listen to me, but it's fine.
yeah. Somebody did send me. You and I had a talk, and we did talk about money, and we talked about some things. We talked about like an Amazon wish list, and somebody sent me a Stream Deck from my Amazon wish list, and
Oh, that's nice.
there's no name on it, which is weird. And I keep thinking like there had to have been a name, and I'm missing it. So I bring it up. So
I think if you check, there's like a little thing that says like keep it a gift or keep it a secret or something like that. I unchecked it just because if somebody sent me something, I want to make sure and tell them thank you. But I think that that's probably what it is. It's probably just on your settings on it.
yeah, I'll probably leave it that way because you know,
But I mean, that's all shit I'm gonna buy myself. So that, I mean, that's all it is. It's just stuff that I'm already gonna buy. I'm gonna slow roll it. I have a family, so I
yeah,
can't invest thousands of dollars into
exactly, exactly.
beyond 100 other things I've got going on versus that.
Yeah, but we all do. It's like
Exactly. Yeah.
I've got a giant mortgage that has to be paid every month. So
No,
um,
that mansion ain't gonna keep itself either.
this ain't this ain't no mansion. I'll
Yeah,
tell
tell
you
me about it.
that.
I know where I know if you live anywhere above New Jersey, you're paying out the nose for any property. And above, if you're right out, if you're within driving distance of New York City, you're definitely paying out the nose. So
Yeah, and we keep up two places, so it's it used to all be so simple, but then COVID came and then remote work came, and so the missus does works remotely, so she uses the house. She's down at the house most of the time, and then I'm up by the city. So it's just like So you double your electric bills and stuff. I'm not complaining. I mean, look, I'm very lucky, so I'm not complaining. But at the same time, it's just funny because, you know,
Yeah.
what the money buys here versus what the money would buy someplace else
Yeah. Tell me
is
about it. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
absolutely insane. I see people like in the Midwest. My nephew, for instance, he bought a house. It was like $500,000, and it's giant. It's like a fucking it's a mansion to me, you know. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, oh, up here that'd get you like 3 bedrooms and a bathroom, maybe,
I'm
you know.
telling you, in Texas, you can get you a for $500,000. You can get you a house near water, like near a lake, in a decent area too. Not in like a shithole, like in a decent area, like. And it's nice, but it just really depends on where you live, because you know what I mean. You gotta have like my property's doubled in value since I purchased it, but I mean that's not always going to be the case, you know. But so when I move, I'll have a good amount of equity or have it paid off, you know. But there are houses in, within driving distance of major cities like Dallas and Houston and San Antonio, Austin, where you can buy you a beautiful home. If you have $500,000 as your budget, phew, yeah, you're buying a really nice home.
Yeah, it's what do you call it? I wish that were the same up here. And we wound up buying this house. We got really lucky. We bought it at a time. It's at the beach. Not on the beach. It's about 4 blocks or so from it. But we bought it at a time when it was 10 years ago, and it was
Mm.
just like the stuff was average. And then all
Yeah,
the
so
northern
same.
New Jersey people started selling their houses and moving down here, and the house behind me that had sold for I don't know $500,000 at the same time ours did, just sold for 1.27 million, all cash, and it was on the market for maybe 4 days.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I mean, there's only a certain group of people that are even looking in that market to begin with, and they're cash ready. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Typically
well,
speaking.
so what's happening is that a lot of people who bought these houses in northern New Jersey when they had kids and stuff are now moving to the beach, and places like this. And these towns were, they were just locals and they were sort of your blue collar towns. But now it's like these guys, one of my neighbors, their house in Caldwell, which is where like the Sopranos house was. Um, he said he was selling it. He bought this one here, and then said he was selling the one up there. And of course, I had a look, and it was on the market for like more than 4 million. And I'm like, it's a nice house, but 4 million should be buying you, you know, shorefront. You should be able to buy Epstein's Island for 4 million. Um,
Well,
not that,
people are trying to flee that area to begin with. You know what I mean? They don't feel like it's ever going to change, so they're trying to get out of there. Because it ain't going down. I'm telling you that. You know what I mean? Because that area has been high on the high end, and it hasn't been going down. So
yeah, and it's also I think the other part of up here is that um there's a lot of people, the jobs that these people get up here are like those, high paying jobs, and everybody's either a lawyer or a doctor or like a hedge fund guy, Wall Street people. Um, but when we looked, so we were going to buy up north, and we were looking, and the school taxes were like $36,000 a year, like just crazy money.
yeah, we're getting
Um,
whacked with that down here really bad right now.
and where Kumia was like insane. He's in like North Roslyn, I think he was,
Yeah.
and just hundreds of like his tax bill had to be close to 100 grand a year. So it was insane. All right. So anyway, let's hop into this. So all right, I know your story as you did the stream from your car for the Kevin Brennan stream, and that was the first time I saw you. Is that like your start? in this universe, or was there something before that?
Right before that, I had made like a steel toe video that caught like just a slight amount of. But yeah, the Kevin Brennan thing is what caught on the most. I mean, that's really what people started seeing me because Aaron played it on Steel Toe Morning Show. It was right after the HRO thing kind of went in effect. He was kind of not talking about directly about anybody like Ricada or Melton. So he chose to pick my video to, you know, use me as kind of like an ability to yell at somebody that he couldn't yell at. Essentially, is
Yeah,
essentially what it boiled down to.
that's the one where you were the deranged stalker, and
Yeah, and he's kept with that narrative that I'm insane, like nobody's that calm, and you know what I mean. It's like I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not calm. Like if you actually pay attention, like I get worked up just like everybody else. Like you know, but he watches only the things that are about him, so he only sees a deliberate take from me that's scolding him, but he doesn't watch other things. So it's on. I can't help that. He's also retarded, so there's that.
yeah, and the truth and him do not share the same room at the same
Yeah,
time.
no, yeah, he's not real great with. He's not real great with facing truths, as they say.
So yeah, and he'll turn anything in. So I saw that, and then Kevin also played the clip, right?
Yeah, all that happened in like a span of like 24 hours. You know what I mean? So like, what happened was is Aaron played it, and then Kevin played Aaron playing it, and then I went on the Mir Musk program, and they kind of interviewed me real quick, and you know we're trying to get to the bottom of what, who, and what, the who and what, why and where. Dan from Nice Podcast Stupid was on there, and that was kind of more or less just my introduction into everything.
Right. So then,
I had never
yeah,
done a
and
stream. I had only done videos. So doing that Mir Musk thing was actually my first actual technical stream, I guess you could
right, and then we were all barraged with Mir Musk and Mint Diggity,
say. Yes.
right? JayMoe's the next thing. JayMoe's the next. They were like your biggest promoters.
Yeah. Well, they were hedging their bet, you know, which is real smart. And I even told both of them, I was like, it's smart because, I mean, worst case scenario, nothing happens. That was their worst case scenario. Best case scenario is I turned out to be another karmic or somebody who just started having like spaz attacks or crying online.
Or did head to Minnesota and take care of Aaron.
Yeah, yeah, things like that. Like that was their best case scenario, right? Their their worst case scenario was absolutely nothing happening, or it just was fine, and that's also it's really just a null in that regard. So they were hedging their bets. I mean, either way, it was neither positive nor negative technically, but it was trolling for sure. But you know,
Well,
the amount
that's
of
what
people that I had people flooding me. Those guys are trolling you, right? They don't think you're
I
great.
was one of them.
I had
I
so many people. I'm like, I'm not retarded. Like I am retarded, but I'm not retarded. Like I know that these people don't think I'm great. There's no way for them to think I'm great. I have done nothing that would amount to me being great. You know what I mean? So I know it's insincere at best, but that's fine because I mean, at least it served a purpose for whatever it was at the time. So
he what do you call it? Chow for sure is known for trolling. I mean, that's basically right what he is known for, and a lot of good guy trolling and
it's
stuff.
exactly, yeah. He's a good guy. Yeah, good
So what
copy.
happened with guys like me was, hey, these guys are setting you up. They're setting you up, and um, we've seen it before. You get these guys that come on, not even necessarily from them, but you'll get somebody that'll come on and they'll build this person up, and then the guy is like all built up and he's all raring to go, and then he doesn't have it or doesn't bring it, and there's this massive disappointment, and then people revel in his failure, you know?
I
And
mean,
so you
I gotta stick up for them in this regard. Like they
well, let
never,
me I'm just going to say
yeah.
this, but what does happen though is you did bring it. So you had whatever they were doing, whether they knew it or not, you were able to back it up. And that's the difference. But go ahead, stick up for them. It's fine.
Well, so what I would say is they never really, at any point, they never really were like pushing me to do anything. Like I had already put my stupid face on camera, right? So like I had already done that. Did they go into chat saying my name? Yes. But as far as like trying to get me to do anything that I did or did not want to do, that never took place behind the scenes. There's a lot of people that have thought like, Chow was like in my inbox telling me what to do and where to, like that wasn't happening. Like every now and then he would say, "Hey, so and so said that they would send you the link if you wanted it." But I mean, never did he go, "Hey, I think you should go here," or "I think," you know what I mean? Stuff like that never. I would say they're more or less observers in the regard that they go and look. They say, "Okay, we'll give you an opportunity. What you do with it, we're gonna capitalize on it either way." You know what I mean? To be
Yeah,
fair.
that's a nice way of saying. I mean, I would think that they the trolling and stuff builds the guy up on his own. They don't have to like do that. It's almost like um, they just want the ball to start rolling and see where it goes. So that maybe that could be the that's what I thought was going on. I didn't think they were behind the scenes telling you what to do, or whatever. But it really did feel like they were trying to get people to talk about you and talk about you, and then of course you would hear that, and then the more you would hear that, the more you would think, uh, "Oh, I must be something. I must be something." But
Yeah, but that's a
you're a
personal,
smarter guy than that, apparently.
and that is 100% that person's decision. Now, I will say, like, yeah, there's definitely going to be people that are going to fall into the honey trap of being told how great they are. You know what I mean? Because they've never, those are people that either haven't been teased or at some point, you know what I mean? Or they're just not aware. They're not self-aware enough to realize that like that's not real. Like that's first of all, if somebody is telling you how great you are online, typically speaking, 9 out of 10, that's not real, right? Secondly, I was way too early into anything for anybody to say, "Oh yeah, you're great." Like I didn't do anything. That it was happenstance that I even was on either screen of Aaron Imholt or Kevin Brennan. You know, so it just so happened to be that way. Everything just kind of lined up properly. It's not because I was so great. Just so happened that Aaron couldn't talk about the people that he normally talks about. He saw my video because I'm almost certain Gino showed it to him because me and Gino had a back and forth. He saw my video about him, and then when he saw my video about Kevin, he said, "Here's something I can actually talk about." And then it kind of went from there. So that's really just kind of it was kind of the jumping off point, more or less.
Um, how did you? What's the Geno story? I haven't heard that one.
I mean, it's all the same. It's the tale as old as time. It's like he would, when I first my first interaction with Gino was on Twitter, and basically it was like him just going on and on about Kayla Ricada, and I was like, oh, this is kind of dumb. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? And then of course it's like, why are you white knighting for this lady? It's like I'm not. I don't even know this lady. I don't know Nick Ricada. I don't know Kayla Ricada. Like, I don't know these people. I just know it's kind of weird that you're screaming at a lady who has no internet presence, like none. I don't even think she has a Facebook or anything. So like I'm just being upfront with them. And then he originally basically was like, oh, we can disagree, but we don't have to be shitty or whatever the case may be. You can see JayMoe and I are having a dialogue. You know what I mean? It was kind of one of those things. I had never put my face on camera or anything like that. It just him and I had a back and forth on X that carried over to his In Hot Water show. More or less, he still kind of went on about how Kayla Ricada was whatever, whatever. But he was a little bit more willing to chill at that time. But he's only amped it up since then, and this was obviously a month and a half, 2 months ago now. So he's only amped it up, and now he's picking on Jackie, who left the Pretty Antisocial podcast. So it just seems to me like he's really interested on attacking women who don't have an internet presence because Jackie left. That now he's going to go hone in on her. I guess he'll give Kayla a break. I don't know, nor do I care. I guess at this point, but it's just, I was just trying to tell him it seems silly that you're doing this. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the optics on it aren't great, but he doesn't care. So
No, he doesn't care. And this is
no,
not like the Gino stuff is not new. I mean, he's been going after people for a long time, and including my buddy Ray DeVito. Um, and he did look. He got whacked in the mouth uh, for fucking. It's like it's. I think if you go after women, you're probably safer. Um, but you go after a guy, the guy might just punch you. And also, from the circumstance and from what I know, that punch was not the first physical altercation he'd had with somebody that he'd said shit about their wife or their girlfriend. Um,
yeah, like
there,
that's his go-to. Like he wouldn't even know what somebody's wife looks like, and he'd be like, "And your fat pig wife," and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with you, man? Like, if you're arguing with the dude, if you're going after his wife, if you think that that's the edgy way to do it, like you just come off now like an idiot. You just look stupid. It's like, hello, I'm a man right here. There's no need to do that, but whatever. Like Nick Rekieta has a very large internet presence. There's no need to go after his wife, who he's some reason honed in on the sole reason all this is taking place. By the way, so she's the villain in all this in his mind. It's insanity, and I can't participate. There's a certain
yeah,
level of retardation that I'm not willing to participate in, and Gino has it.
yeah. I've been look. I've been going back and forth with him for a couple of years now, and it it started. Uh, it started before the Ray stuff, but it was him going after Ray, and trying to fuck with Ray's career, which is what got me. Um, Ray was doing shows. Gino would go to the shows. Um, Gino was talking big. He had the show on Compound. He was a big guy. He was this. He was that. And the COVID stuff and the other crazy stuff that he talks about, um, and the drinking. It was just like I can't listen to this guy anymore. And we got we got into it. And but what I do laugh about him, I think you were the other person that was included. He did put out a tweet a few days ago about you know, oh, and by the way, nobody listens to these people, Schmuel Buckman
Yes.
and JayMoe. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but you can't get us out of your head. And that's to me, that's the best. Like
Yeah, and then my live outperformed his that day, but in less time. So, and I was like, well, that's weird, but whatever. And you know what? It's so crazy because I have very low numbers. It's not like I'm putting out like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's odd behavior that he has. Like he really thinks in his mind he's some sort of big shot. He's really just a 58-year-old that owns nothing and is about to be to retirement age and can't retire.
well, he's counting on that fireworks money.
He ain't
So
getting it, bro. It's not happening. Have you seen Michaeline?
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
she's a mess. Like there's no shot that there's money left.
Well, she is divorced, so dad, dad seems to have it. It was very funny when I saw uh, Keanu perform for the first time. It was a very blue collar, beer drinking crowd, and all her jokes were all about trips to Europe and the first class flight on Air France and the funny things that happened there. And you're just like, do you know your audience? Do you know who you're talking to? And it was bad. And so, Dr. Chow, hey Buckman, I'm just doing the hack first duty of finding your replacement and promoting JayMoe. It's succession planning for the next generation. Uh,
I hope to reach your heights one day.
very good, Chow. I don't have any heights. Um, Frank, who usually just trolls us, is actually asking a decent question. JayMoe, how do you feel about people saying Chow is trolling you? It doesn't matter if he is or not, but him showing interest in you is enough to alert many people because he's an unsavory person. Uh, I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Everybody on the internet's an unsavory person. I don't
Yeah,
know why you're living in a dream world. If you, there's nobody on here that I believe when they go, hey, you know what? I'm really trying to help you. Like, I'll be the judge of that. So like, no, it doesn't bother me. Even if you're absolutely right. Either he is or he isn't, and he absolutely was to a degree. But like I said, he was hedging his bets. It doesn't really matter. It was kind of my opportunity to squander or not. You know what I mean? And like
I
I
should
did.
have I should have read that whole thing because I thought where he was going with that was um, that that's the thing about Chow, which is that uh, people automatically think he's trolling, and he may not be, but it's almost like what is it, the boy that cried wolf? It's like you can't stop it once you develop that reputation, it becomes hard to stop, and so I'm almost like my thought process is almost like you had to overcome it. Uh, But yeah, I know I'm sure you would disagree, but you know,
Well, no, I mean you do to a degree, and I mean he knows. Like it gave people a bad taste in their mouth about me because the way they were learning about me was, you know, the incessant chats, right? So some people were already blocking me before they even saw anything that I did because they were just getting irritated. So in some ways it did have a negative effect, but again, it's kind of my opportunity to win people over or not, or if that's like I'm not real super interested in people who block people who didn't even look into them first anyway. So it's kind of like you know what I mean. But there's definitely people that were automatically not interested in anything I had to say or do because of that. But again, that was my hurdle to jump over, and in some ways I did, in some ways I didn't. But you know, I'm a slow learner.
N- yeah, I think you're minimizing your talents, but um, the part of the reason why I wanted to have you on is because if past his prologue, people generally go from co-hosting on Saturday night to an appearance on MLC, and I know that you'd like to get on MLC, but we've had was it last week? I guess uh, Night Ranger got the nod, and a couple of weeks before that, it was Panhandler. Um, and we do usually get Kevin likes to snipe me a lot. Another one who says how bad I am, but yet tends to use
Yeah,
my
he said I'm the
content.
biggest clown. I'm the biggest clown around. He's the
Oh,
biggest clown.
all right. So, how do you feel about your reception? How do you feel about what's been going on? Um, do you have plans? Like, what's your if I come back to JMO in a year, right? What would JMO like his YouTube story to be?
I don't know. I think I'm just gonna keep chucking away at it. I think for me, it's like it is an odd release in a way. Uh, you know, getting on here and just I guess talking shit. You know what I mean, more or less. Um, but it comes with its own set of consequences too. You know what I mean? So you're always going to get back what you put out for the most part, especially here. You know what I mean? And a lot of times you're going to get even what you don't put out, but you're for sure going to get what you put out. So if you're going out of your way to motherfuck everybody, that's what's going to come back at you. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of a difficult way to go about.
So
going about it. You know what I mean? And that's not the way I'm going. But
yeah.
there are definitely people that try and do that. That seems
Terry
exhausting.
Terry Nee, is this PBS? Terry, don't you know that I'm the Dabble versus Charlie Rose? Uh, that's what I do. We pull people in. I try to pull people in for like serious, a little bit serious interview kind of thing.
Dateline is
So
what we
people get
prefer.
to know. Well, part of what happens is when you're a guest on shows a lot, people don't get to know who you really are. So it gives us an opportunity, and by us I mean the Dabblers. It gives us a chance to talk and find out like what goes on behind the person. I will argue with you a little bit about the, you get back what you put out. Um, I think a lot of these guys are just, they're looking to own you, they're looking to bring you down. And so the most innocent thing you can do, sometimes you just make an innocent comment and it's all of a sudden, oh, he's going after, and you're like, no, no. And then, but you quickly realize that you can't defend yourself in that arena. You have to reach the point where you're like, look, if that's what you believe, then that's what you're going to believe. And I'm not going to change it. And you can't try to chase your tail trying to change it, because their whole thing is to get you, not, you know it's not about the
I think that some
truth.
of it is just the interaction, though. When you think about it, though, like you'll see guys in the chat, and they'll just be, you're gay or you're stupid. It's fine, but really, what they want is just the interaction. And so, like, you know what I mean? It's your choice to give it to them or not. You know.
Yeah,
And
I'm
sometimes when you give them the interaction, it turns them around. Sometimes it just makes it that much worse. But that's your gamble. It's on you. You know what I mean?
yeah, and it is always funny though. You do it, so you're doing it for a while, just say a few months, and then somebody comes at you with like this brutal amount of hate, and you're
Oh yeah.
like, I I don't know you. I've never seen you before. And you're just like, do they know me? And when I first started streaming, there were a couple of guys that really came at me and with personal shit. And I admit, I was like butt hurt. And my buddy Dave Sarah was like, asked me if I was a fucking idiot, is essentially his question.
Hmm.
And and I was like, oh, and he was like, you gotta let it go. Which is like, whatever, you have to let it go. And like I talked to Ashley a lot about that, and I'm like, Ashley, they're just trying to get you, and responding to them, they're letting them get to you. And but it's tough. I can see for some people, if you're like sensitive or even hypersensitive, um, this is really not the place for you.
No, this is a place for broken toys and damaged goods. If you're not that, you can't live. But a lot of times they're just, like I told Ashley, I said they are reaction vampires, right? So they're looking for that next feed. It's just a reaction they're looking for. Sometimes they're looking for the mean, the angry. Sometimes they're looking for the chuckle. Sometimes, but it's a reaction nonetheless that they're looking for.
Yeah.
And once you give them that, they're going to continue to come back for more feedings. You know what I mean? So specifically the ones that are trying to get you outside of your own character and lose your mind. Those are the ones that you need to not give the reaction to. But you can't. You cannot make somebody who is not built for something be built for it. That is not something you can teach or train, or it's not. It's not going to happen
No,
for her.
I look, I agree. I 100% agree. And it's just like, that's about, but that's a sort of a metaphor for life, right? Is like finding your place.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
it's, I'm sure you've done it, where you work with somebody that within 3 days they think they're supposed to be the boss and they know more than everyone else. Um, and they don't shut up about it, and they're going to leave and go and they're someplace else, and I'm going to be in, and the same jobs that they've always had, and they never seem to advance because they never seem to say, oh wait, I'm good at this area, let me focus on that, but no, but I want to do this other, I want to do the other area. let's do let's do some of these chats. And normally when I come in, I sort of say hi and welcome people.
Just do the mean ones. Those are the ones we want.
Liquid Cryptid, uh, Sam is great.
He
Yeah,
is
there's a lot
great.
of Sam Bibley hate in here, and Sam is one of my favorites.
Oh, I like
And
Sam. I was talking to Sam. Shout out Sam. I was talking to him today.
Stan, wait, we did Sam want us to wait? No, I talked to Sam. Sam is one of the people that I trust, if that's the right word. I mean, I'm not leaving my wife with him, but it's like I will ask his opinion about things, um, to to just to help check myself. And another guy that I like a lot, um, OG Mumbly Nick. Sam Bibley gave me sweet dance moves in one of his videos. I appreciate that, Sam. Yeah,
That is nice.
OG's gonna do his karmic stream. Yeah, we'll see OG
Oh yeah, I like it.
waving back and forth. I think that would be pretty funny. Oh, even Frank agrees that Sam Bibley isn't an unsavory character. Um, I like Chow. I don't want to get that wrong, but I do like busting his balls, and uh, and he knows what he's doing, and so I like kind of like to call him out on it. Um,
Oh
but
yeah.
I would like to see. I think he would, for me, like uh, I think as a serious interviewer guy, he would be really good. He asks a lot of like good questions and stuff. But uh, I'm not a fan of Mir. But there we go. Um, Cigarette Jones, look at me, I'm the boss now. Yeah, and I'm gonna see what I did. I'm gonna put this up without reading it, but it's from Frank, so it's usually the thing. JayMoe is going at Felicia wasn't a fair fight. One, she's a woman. Two, you have all the information on her, but she has none on you, except for your teeth that you hide very well. Uh, what did you do to Felicia?
Well, I would, Frank. I wonder if you watched the entire thing because, like, if you watched it out of context, then yes, it would seem like I bullied her in some way, but which is just absolutely untrue. The truth is, what happened was I was backstage because I was sent the link. Um, I didn't ask for it. I was sent the link. They asked me to come on. I originally told them no, but because of the rain delay, I ended up getting on there. And when I was back there, she knew I was there. And MKE asked her before I even came on. And to be fair, I tried my very best to be as polite as I could because it wasn't my stream. I did my level best, Frank, but she was just bullshitting and I couldn't take it anymore. And
This,
so, as far as
go
my
ahead.
teeth go, I just have a gap in my front teeth. I don't really have much else going on beyond that.
Oh, I have mine are awfully yellow from cigar smoking. So there you go. I always find that that's the stuff that I about the internet and whatnot. I dislike focusing on people's looks, um, or focusing on things people can't change. You know, it's like I'm old. You can insult me all day long about it, but I can't do anything about it. So if you want to insult me, do me a favor. Insult me with something that will help me change, that I can change. Um, but I completely forgot about the Felicia thing until just now, and now I remember that was the MKE stream. Now I listened to that,
Mm.
and I would agree with you. I mean, you were trying to understand it, right? And you were asking legit kind of questions, but it really did need to get cut to the chase, right? Because this guy that you just spent 2 weeks with, he's streaming. Uh,
3.
we know how he feels about MKE, just all the stuff, and it's just like, why are you on here with us? I mean, it was a valid question, and they had been talking about their relationship over and over again, and it's like you're going to get asked these questions, and then you don't get the opportunity to play coy, and so I thought you did really well with that.
Well, I think on top of that, like it was like the fact that she came, the fact that she did that, she went on MKE's stream knowing that at the moment that she got on the stream, he was like her boyfriend was screaming about this guy. Like just imagine like you're in a big argument with somebody on the phone and then your wife is on the other guy's phone line going, "Hi." You know what I mean? Like it's insane that you don't do that. Like there's a certain amount of couth that you don't have. He whatever you may think of karmic or whatever she knew what she was doing. It was deliberate, and she was dancing around it. She knew I was there, so they were trying to frame it like she didn't know I was there or didn't agree to have me on there. And really, all I did was ask her directly if they were dating because he made declarations of love that very day.
Right.
And so I
Right.
felt like it seems like he's taking it pretty serious. Maybe you need to like at least publicly agree that he's your boyfriend, right? Like I mean, and then it's like, well, I'm not doing it because you want me to, and it's like, well, okay, I guess, but that's not going to look great.
Yeah, but it felt like it was fucking with Karmic, right? And look, I have mixed feelings about Karmic. Karmic hasn't treated me well, has not said good things about me, and actually said some pretty shitty things about me. But at the same time, there's a part of me that kind of feels sorry for him, you know? And it was like, why are you tormenting him? Because that's what it felt like to me. You're
I
just
mean,
fucking with
the
this
whole
guy.
thing is gross. I mean, the fact that she's so, the majority of the time she was screaming about Pat. It wasn't even about Karmic on there. So it's like she's so hyper focused on the other guy while she's with this guy. Like the whole thing just feels gross. Like, and I just couldn't sit and listen to it without saying my piece. I guess you would say. I'm not trying to pile on. There was no pile on. That wasn't a thing.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't a pile-on, and it wasn't like you three guys got together beforehand and said,
Yeah.
all right, man, we're going to do this, and then you're going to sandbag
I
Felicia.
didn't even know she was going to be there
Right.
until I got there. And saw she was on. I was like, oh, that's weird. I said, I wonder why she's even on here. And then, you know, she had been messaging MKE too, like DMing him and stuff. So she's playing games, man, and it's just like sad to see. But Karmic doesn't want to hear any of it anyway. So you're just wasting your breath trying to go, hey, man, I don't think it's just a waste of time. So
Um, yeah, so Terry Nee, Felicia showed all her cards when she got Ray booted from All Planet Fitness, which was an important health factor for his well-being. Um,
yes,
yeah, it was like it when like you're saying, Terry Nee saying she showed her cards. I just looks aside. I just think like she just feels like she's evil to me, you know, like uh, Black Widow, Scorpion, whatever. And I'm like, but something you just said, I was like, I, you've dated, I'm sure I think we all have dated a chick who's still into their ex boyfriend, and it's like all they talk about,
yeah,
and
like that's a no-no. Like you just don't do that. Like if my like just imagine your wife even brought up her ex-boyfriend at this point, you'd be like, the fuck are you doing? Shut up. What are you doing? Like, why would you even bring? Like, what are we doing here? Imagine just her bringing him up for no reason. That'd be odd behavior. This lady goes on every show she possibly can to complain about a guy that she hasn't even been around in years. That's an insane person.
yeah, there's something. Yeah, there's definitely something in the head, and then the just constant accusations, and then if you listen to the stories as they progressed, um, you can see it's now like she went from these original stories, which I didn't necessarily believe, but then made them worse. And then there was a point where before all this karmic stuff started a few months ago, where she was on. KB kept trying to bringing it up, and you could see
Mm.
like she was like making it up. She's like stretching to try to find, you know, like she needed new Pat Dixon stuff, as if I don't have something new, Kevin's gonna boot me, and
Hmm.
I got to come up with something. But having listened to the whole story, having known Pat from before, just all the stuff, I was like, "There's something wrong with this." But I just picture Karmic like I I get this vision of like, well, uh, my ex did this better. My ex did that better,
Yeah, that's
and
crazy, man.
right, and then the other part is like the way you treat me is so nice compared to the way this guy treated me. And the thing with Karmic, I never know uh, where the character ends and the person starts, but it's like he seems he's bought all in on it, you know, and
He can't
yes,
stop now.
to
He's
an
put himself in such a deep hole now that he can't stop. That's why he keeps getting on streams and rage quitting because he's like, I have to get on here because he's lost his job. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have anything else. Like this is it for him. And if he can't make it doing this, he's gonna, you know, I he's. But the problem is like he is trying to be a character that is living inside of his brain that he's not allowed to be when he goes out on his little farm town. And but it is who he is. That's the problem. So like he's having a hard time, you know what I mean, going from like the character that he's playing in his little chair versus like having to go to the grocery store. You
All
know,
right, say what you mean. I mean, you've told me before. Tell what do you mean? When you say that he can't be what he
I
is?
really don't know. Like I've gone back and forth about him being a closeted homosexual for sure, which I think most people have. And I'll be honest with you, my first thing when this whole Felicia thing happened, I was like, man, I don't even think they really did anything. I really, but and then I'm like, he's got like such an attachment that I really think that they did do something because like he's got like I just got my first girlfriend, which he did, an attachment to this lady, and like he lost his virginity in a kind of way, which I mean, even if he didn't, that other lady really doesn't even count because it was like some circus animal that came through town. But you know, he's definitely attached in a way that you only get through intimacy in some way. So they were intimate in some way, whichever way I don't know. So I'll be upfront with you. I can't call it. I can't call it. But I really do feel like originally he was very closeted and he feel like he could be who he was. But now he's so hyper focused on this girl. One thing I know about one thing I can say that I've noticed about gay gentlemen is they typically don't let ugly women tell them what to do. So, I mean, if he is gay, he's doing it wrong. I will say that. You know,
What
if
do you
you're
call
gonna
it?
fake a girlfriend, you're gonna at least get like a little bit. You know, you're gonna reach a little bit higher on the shelf. Not quite that far.
My experience is different, but the joke around here used to be that the gay guys all love chubby women, like that was a thing. Like you'd meet a guy and the guy would be very very effeminate, and uh, she'd be a big gal, and that 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 was the joke. But I did say I didn't want to. Apparently, I said I didn't want to say insult people's looks, but then according to Chow on here, I did right after. But I don't think I did, but um, who knows? And my buddy Pat Dixon dated her, so there's got to be something there, and I've seen her stand up. I saw a little bit. I didn't. I thought it was okay. I didn't. Was it great? You know, but she was very comfortable on stage, and I thought that was quite a. It was from a while ago, um, but and I don't know what she's doing now. But it.
I mean,
I have mixed feelings. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with Karmic, but I will get into something. I don't think Karmic Sam Bibley. I don't think Karmic. I don't think he's gay. I think he has sex hangups from being an isolated guy with internet access. It's possible, that's a possibility, right?
Yeah, I mean, he might have been just like super like. I mean, like I say, he might have had religious parents or something. Maybe he wasn't like a lot. Maybe he didn't have a lot of like outside knowledge outside of like pop culture. You know what I mean? So like watching movies is where he learned what was cool, and you know,
Yeah, he does. Look,
he
he
dropped out
does
of
come.
high school. God knows it was probably because of bullying. You know what I mean? Like,
He definitely comes across as a lonely guy, right? And
yeah, I
uh,
mean, but sometimes, but loneliness, sometimes it can trigger different things in people. Obviously, he's got like something about him that he feels like he's got to be this. I don't know. It's like a very gay Andrew Dice Clay, but it's something that he really believes is cool. Like Merch telling him that jacket was gay last night broke his world because he's like, no, this is my coolest jacket. Like everybody thinks it's cool, and everyone's like, no, it's not. He he goes based on like movies and pop culture things that he is like, this is what's cool, right? And so without being able to go out and interact with people, he didn't have enough people going, "What the fuck are you wearing?" You know, he didn't have enough of those interactions.
yeah, and then the other thing too is, look, you get to be a certain age in a certain place, and if people think of you as like an odd character, they don't even notice. I think like it's like, oh, that's just him. Frankly, I like the jacket, but that's
You
just
would,
me.
you
I
would.
you know I
You a
I
big
like
Michael Jackson guy?
I like it. No, it's more Andrew Dice Clay, you know. Um, but then I found out you could take the sleeves off, and that's where you lost me. I'm like, wait, uh, a leather jacket that's also a vest. That was a
Yeah,
little
maybe
bit
you
much
should
for
go
me.
denim. A nice Canadian blazer would be nice on him, maybe.
So
Or a duster. Ooh, maybe he could go
yeah, like
duster next time.
a duster would be
A
cool.
denim duster. Now that would be something. It does
Uh,
get mighty cold up in those Minnesota winters.
I would what do you call it? Yeah, he does. Yeah. It's just I just find the whole thing strange and fascinating at the same time. It's steel toe, it's Stut Joe. It's I don't want to watch. I ca- I I can't believe I watch it. My wife thinks I'm crazy um for being interested in this stuff. But like I watching people and I'm like I'm I can't help it. I'm watching. I don't know how much of the uh, Stuttering John stuff you've been following,
Not much, to be honest
or
with
how
you.
closely, but
That's my least interest in all of this. That's the funny thing is I give a shit about Stuttering John or anything that he's up to. I don't care. Don't
so
care. Not a fan. Never was a Howard Stern guy. And honestly, I tried to like get into like when they were all go because I kind of came in the very beginning of all this. Like I kind of started watching, but I was more interested in the steel toe stuff, not the Stuttering John. So I'm more on that side, I would say, than anything.
this is very funny. Terry Nate, the direct TV girl at Sam's Club tells Carmax how cool his jacket is every time he's in there.
Hell yeah.
Um, Sam Bibley. Sam, weird guys in rural areas do rebel signification in weird way because guys like Carm have a chip on their shoulders about city folk and coastal types. Um, that leads me back to again, I don't know how much of his stuff is character um, or is real. Like, does he really feel all this stuff? I've noticed with him, and we got to get back to John, and I want to get back to Aaron a little bit. But I've noticed with Karmic is if you watch Karmic, he will become whatever he thinks he's supposed to become on the show that he's on. And I was watching the Stuttering John interview, and Stuttering John asked him about my favorite subject, which was threesomes. And then Karmic went into a story about a threesome he was in, which sounded decidedly like another one that I've heard on the internet. Um,
Okay, he's never been in a threesome. We all know that, though. That's the funny thing.
right. And so, but it's what's so interesting about it is he's like, I'm with John. This is what John wants to hear, right? And you can tell he's like, he's impressed. I don't know with himself or whatever, but he's like, he's excited to be there, right? Like to be on with John was it was a big thing to him.
Yeah,
And so he does stuff to get John to try to like him. And he's making that stuff up. And with Alex Stein, he was doing similar stuff. Although I thought the Alex Stein interview was a bust for him. But and and then when he's alone, like when he's on Brennan, he's I'm gonna mealy mouthed. He doesn't really. It's like yeah, Kevin, yeah, Kevin, whatever you say, Kevin. Like, and it just feels like he's a chameleon. He's just doing what he thinks he's supposed to do. Um, Whenever he's there, and then when he's alone, that's when he's the tough guy, right? I'm gonna
yeah.
kick ass, and I'm gonna, in a bar fight. And as somebody said the other night, I guess he was talking about headbutting somebody, and somebody said the other night, if you're describing headbutting the way he's describing it, you've never headbutted anyone, um, because you wouldn't be able to do it. And I kind of doubt that he's gotten for such a small town. He's gotten into a lot of bar fights, right? Like it doesn't seem like there would be that many
Yeah,
places
yeah.
that
I believe that in a farm town, he's just out there beating those farm boys like a drum. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's what's happening.
yeah,
Yeah, those
and
guys that are picking hail bays up with their bare hands since they were 7. Yeah, he's beating on them. Yeah, for calling him whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All
yeah, yeah.
that.
Yeah, I get it. So I'm gonna put up. Hold on, let me share the screen here a little bit. So this came out from Doom earlier tonight. Now it is supposed to be a. Hold on, let's get this sucker up here. I'm gonna spotlight it, so it's gonna cover both of us up. Um, it's purported to be from somebody that went to high school with Karmic. Um, and it's from Doom, good old, Doom's payer. And Doom, I think, has respect, accuracy. We haven't seen any bullshit from Doom. So I'm
Are
going to
we sure
believe it.
that's really Doom, first of all?
Well, it's on Doom's Twitter account. Doom
That's
posts.
not Doom's Twitter.
No, 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 no. Doom
Yeah.
post. I've
Oh, okay,
maxim
okay.
I've maximized. This is Doom posted this, but I've just maximized what um, Doom put up here. I mean, I could show the whole. I could,
No, I mean, I'm not to shit on anything. I just know that Michael is not even in his name. So, like, it's weird that,
and
I mean, a lot of people
is
think that is Michael or Carmichael or anything like that, but that's not his name. Like, he's not super difficult to find. Like, if you just look, you know what I mean? Like,
well,
I
we do
found
know
it on accident. I didn't mean to.
he. Oh, so Michael is not his name at all.
No.
So then this is probably bullshit. I know that he's not Carmichael. I know that. I mean, I know what his name is because he said it. Um, on
Yeah, I
on.
don't know. Maybe it could be a middle name, but I really don't. I don't even think so, to be honest with you, if I remember right. But I didn't really look super deep into it. That's not my bag. I don't like to dox or anything like that. But what he put out was super easy to find, so much so that I found it on accident. And then it's like it was like his whole name. So I was like, oh, oops.
Because I do know that his first name begins with a K. Um,
Hmm.
right, and we know stuff. And then when he was when he was doing streams from Felicia, some guy was in the chat um, with and kept calling him by his real first name, trying to get stuff. Um, so
He used to go by High Flyer,
really,
HI dash Flyer.
and he was like a what do you call it, streamer, like a game streamer,
Yeah.
right? All right,
Yeah, he did
so
pinball or something like that. They were saying.
I don't know. I do know that he definitely did that porn stuff that we saw, um, the digital magazine thing, we did see. Um, his name is on the paperwork. I guess is probably the way to put it. So
Yeah.
he's he definitely did that. It's just so weird. It just seems like such a weird life story to me. Like it doesn't really make it. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It's like he seems talented, right? Enough, um, and doing the porn, the writing of the porn, and the drawing of the pictures, uh, and that stuff, and then to have no like experience with women, it just seems all so contradictory to me that I get blown away. But my fascination with a guy like Karmic, um, and Stuttering John and Aaron is I'm interested in the personality types. And and that is why, like with Stuttering John, that's why I'm fascinated. Because you've got a guy who had success, right? Um, and he could have done he there's like things that he could have done and he could have continued. But it's about that not learning your place kind of thing where you fit in, and he just doubles down on it and triples down on it. And I would have said to you, if you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said, look, it's all an act. He knows exactly what he's doing,
Yeah.
and he's doing this just to get people to, he's getting people to shit on him just to send him super chat money. Um, but you read the court documents and his affidavits and stuff, everything that we've found, that we've heard about him is true. At least he's under penalty of perjury said so in court documents. And it's like, how do you live with everything going so wrong and thinking you're right
It's a sickness.
all the
There's a
time?
mental sickness involved because it's like it's not narcissism, it's something else for sure. I mean, it's definitely a lack of self-awareness, but it's also it's a hyper self-awareness. Like, but you're so self-aware in a way that you're sabotaging yourself even more. It's very odd behavior. It's like it's being backed in a corner and finding a way to jam yourself even deeper and deeper.
It's interesting to me because it's everybody. Look, that's really the question that we're asking is when we look and when we look at these people and we're fascinated, there's a certain amount of fascination, like an Aaron, where they're just a train wreck, and yet they can't get
Yeah.
out of their own way. Um, and with Stuttering John, the same thing. And then you have the people who go, well, it's his mother did this to him, or that something else happened to him, and that's why he is the way he is. And I'm like, no, he's a true believer in the like, and no amount of reality is going to change that.
No, if they took a lie detector to either one of any of these, if they took a lie detector to today and said, "Do you think you're better than fill in the blank?" Let's just say Joe Rogan, right?
Right.
If they believe in their mind, they'll pass. So the question is, do you think? You know what I mean? It's not are you? It's do you think? They will pass. Like it's that because they're in their mind. They're like, yeah, like these people are just stupid. They don't realize that I'm better than them yet. And it's like, all right, yeah,
Well, that is right. That's what you just said is an important point, because it's like you there they how do I say it? Um, just say what you said again. What you just said. The about what they think when we're talking about Joe Rogan.
oh yeah. So like, it doesn't really matter. Like if they believe in their brain that they're better than like, let's just say right because for karmic specifically, he has a brain that tells him if he is better on playboard than he. So like for instance, Mersh, right? If he were to take a lie detector test today that were to say, "Are you better than Mersh?" He believes he is now. He's like, yeah, I go on Alex Stein now. Like, I'm the guy.
Right, and it's shit that you did 30 years ago, right? That you I, I always just
He has nothing to discuss on his show. Like, if even if, like, he was playing clips, responding back to things, but that's not what he does either. He just screams into his microphone between AI songs about what he's mad about, or cries, one of the two.
yeah, it's
But
when it
then
comes to
pops right back. So he's got like some personality thing, I think. But that's not fully a character because he's having full blown meltdowns with tears and stuff. Like, that's not a character. The dancing, the playing around, the trying to make jokes, that's a character. That's the guy he wishes he was all the time. But the guy that he really is when he's screaming and he's yelling. That's those shower arguments that he's having. Like, he's really mad.
so wait, so that's what you think is the real him. You think that the guy who's raging and screaming is the real guy? Uh,
Well, I mean, not really for necessarily real. It's hard to say like real when you're dealing with the internet, you know what I mean? But here's the thing I can tell you is all those things that he's yelling and screaming like, "I'll fuck you up, I'm serious and I'll beat your ass, I'll smash your forehead." Those are all the things that he tells himself in the shower when he's like pissed off and he watched the clip of how so and so said this about him. Specifically, you got to see that with you know how he went with MKE on in front of him. He had none of these things to say. He was claiming it was because he was getting put in the back, but really he was never getting put in the back because he was going after him. He was just saying dumb shit that didn't apply, and so Kevin didn't want to hear it, so he just put him in the back. Him any of that "I'm gonna fuck you up" energy when MKE was right in front of him on camera. But what he did was is he stewed about it in his little trailer. He had an argument about it in his shower where he shook his fist and threw punches, and he went over the argument again 5 times, but he said the things that he wished he would have said, and then he got on camera and said those things as if it was the same argument, but this time MKE didn't say anything and he only gets to say. And it's just a fantasy world he's living in.
yeah, I
He's
saw
built a
that.
character in his brain, but it's like two different guys. It's the dance character and the mad character.
I saw that with me going on KB, where he was talking shit about me, and then when KB brought me on, he didn't say anything, and that's why and then KB put him in the back room, and he had a fit about that. He's gonna put me in the back room when Schmuel was on, and I want to go after him. But we were there. We were on screen together for quite a while, and he certainly could have said something, and he didn't. And so it's like, and again, that's my thing about like where he becomes something different when he's on. Like when he and MKE were on together on MLC. Wasn't it like there was a stream where there was just the two of them at some point?
Yeah, he was basically, it was a response. What it really was it was kind of like they basically got on. I don't even know what their problem was, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know what their deal was, but what ended up happening was is MKE was right there and he had nothing. More or less what he was saying is it wasn't like that tough guy, like, shut the fuck up or any of that. It was more or less like, wrong, that's not what happened. It was little stuff like that, but he really wasn't contributing to anything. So, yeah, he got put in the back, but, it really doesn't hold any weight when you're the next day getting on camera and going, I would fuck you up. And it's like, oh, okay, but,
Yeah,
like,
he's won more
why?
shadow boxes than anybody on the planet, right? Um,
Yeah, Aaron winning his first boxing match in the back of a restaurant. These guys live in a fantasy world where they've built up a story that's just not real. Like, and they have no clue because again they've lived through pop culture. Like they watch like Roadhouse and they think that's what tough guys do. Like it's like nobody really act like that. It was a film. Like they were over at like, but they're like no. that's, you walk into the bar, you act, you know what I mean? It's just like that's not because they would never do it in real life. So they play these. They've got a movie they built, and they're the main character in this movie, and so they believe that the way he dresses is the way the main character in his movie dresses every time. It's a leather jacket that unzips the sleeves. He wears his sunglasses, and everybody thinks he's the coolest. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is.
Yeah, and he's planning on getting his bicep tattoo immediately following getting a bicep. Um, I I just he fascinates me. And John and Aaron fascinate me, and they seem to be similarities, right? Like they really do have these. You know, I don't know what karmic does. You said like in the shower. I just picture stuttering John like drinking himself into oblivion and then convinced like an incident will have happened where he'll be in some argument in a bar and it'll go nowhere. And by the end of the night he's convinced that he beat the shit out of that guy, or in John's case, uh, talk the guy. I got him with my comedy, and I won. And I keep thinking of the guy who said he was on stage with somebody and they made a joke about him and he had the perfect answer. The problem was it was 20 minutes after the show ended. Um, and I've seen people that have that 20 minutes after the show ends, but when you talk to them a year later, um, they really believe that they got that out on stage. And it's
Yeah,
interesting
yeah,
thing.
because it's played in their mind over and over again. But that's what I mean, like with the shower arguments. And we've all done, like, there's been times where you've had to, like, bite your tongue and you wish you didn't. And that's for, like, morality reasons or corporate reason, whatever the case may be. You
Or you
wanted
with your
to,
wife and you do a girlfriend and you're not, you can't. There's nothing you can do about it, right?
yeah, or there's a lady boss at your job who said something shitty and you're not allowed to call her a fat cunt because that'll get you fired. But you know what I'm saying? Like these are the things that you go through. The rest of us go and set that down. We might do it. We might have this shower argument once and set it down. But there's people who hyper focus and and that thing just never goes away. And even an I'm sorry from the other person probably won't fix it. It's you know
Yeah,
the main reason, like like most of the people that I've had any disagreement with on here, for the most part, we're perfectly fine. It's not a real like what are like I couldn't imagine going to bed mad at people on the internet every night. That would be sickening.
no, I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't imagine either.
And he just went to bed so mad at Mersh last night. I mean, he was furious, just furious because he thought Mersh was going to come on there and back him up, and it was like Marshall was just fed up. He's like, I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. And it's just like we all kind of got to that point. And it's like, well, yeah, we tried to help you, and he motherfucked me. And like now, I'm not going to try and help you anymore. Now I'm going to make you look stupid because that's what you are. You
Yeah,
wanted to take the wheel, so good luck, honey. you
yeah,
know.
Mersh is kind of funny. I got sandbagged once, early on, and after the show was over, I was really upset about it. And yeah, I have a conversation with Sarah, my guru, and it's like, you're stupid. Like none of this matters.
Yeah.
Let it go. And he was correct. And after that, I learned that when the show goes off, it goes off. I could think it was a good show or a bad show, or I enjoyed it or didn't enjoy it, but I don't get mad. Like I don't take it to. I'm not taking it to bed with me. I'm not walking around with it, for a week. And you watch like Aaron or Stuttering John, and it's like they can't let it go, and they remember things, and it's insane. And then they'll come up with their way that they won the argument. Like listening to Aaron going after, um, it's Haley that left, right? And who? Which one of PA?
Jackie's the one that left. Haley's the one that stayed.
Jackie. So Jackie leaves, and Aaron is like running around claiming victory, um, and you're like, dude, you're taking, yeah, and look, I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm not anything. Dude, you're taking out HROs because somebody's talking bad about you on the internet, or making fun of you. And, Stuttering John, you're suing people because they're humiliating you. I mean, you're not the tough guy that you think you are. With Aaron, I at least I think that he thinks he's talking to his people, his audience. Like Aaron thinks he's fooling people, right? Because his toe boys or whatever, they're not going to listen to these other people, and so he's getting to present it his way. So it's just an
Even
out.
that's a very thin crowd now. Like he has very few left. I will say, like, 'cause I did my homework. You know what I mean? When he went after me, I was like, all right, let me really look into this. Because I watched like the Melton streams, but I like more or less the clips. I never really delved too deep, but like he's been getting his ass handed to him online since well before now. You go all the way back 2015, 2014, he would post something up and someone would be like, "You're fucking gay." It's like, whoa. It's like he was on like the St. Cloud, Minneapolis group or whatever. Like the dude, he tries to just walk through it, and it doesn't necessarily bode well in it. He does
Right, but
it.
he did have the huge look. He's not stupid. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Uh,
Yeah, that's debatable.
he's not unintelligent, right? He had the Steel Toe Morning Show. He got it over to Twitch, and Moody was doing the numbers. And if you know anything about Moody, he's frighteningly intelligent. Um,
Oh yeah,
and it's creepy even when you meet him because he's
Asian
just
autistic. It's
very fucking smart. And but he did the numbers, and he was like, his estimate was that Aaron was bringing in about 20K a month on Twitch, and he had it like everything was coming up roses for him, but he went after somebody who was trans. He couldn't stop, and he lost his channel because of it. And
yeah, that's just the tale as old time. If you look back, and I did, like he's picked fights with like little small things and harps in on it, but he's always taken the stance of like, yeah, all my people are gonna hate you now, and we're winning, and I'm winning because of my fans, and my fans, he couldn't, you know what I mean? He doesn't live in reality where it's just the majority of his chat has never been like positive or even middle ground. It's been, everybody's been like, you're fucking whatever. Like they don't like him. So he did have a very core group of people that did, but over time, this group is going thinner and thinner because they're running out of like excuses for him. They're like, well, it's kind of hard to, you know,
he listen, when it comes to him, I do think that there were a lot of people that liked him. Um,
yeah.
when somehow, however, I got introduced to his show, I used to watch his show, and I thought it was fine. The I shouldn't say watch it. I would listen to the morning show, right? But
He was
I
he was Anthony Cumia light for Midwestern dopes.
See,
Literally what it boils down to.
I thought with he and his ex, right, April, um, I thought it was kind of fun because it was like watching her learn it, him being kind of the boss with it. And nobody agrees with me, but I think she was coming into her own with it. He had Corey for a while, Corey Adam. I thought they did okay. Um, but it was but it's like then there was the Compound connection, right? Where he started to think he was going to go on Compound Media, and he took like such a right turn uh politically, more than he had been, but he also like started acting like he was Kumia. He started to like, I'm going to become, he was mimicking Anthony Cumia. And the thing about Anthony Cumia is he's an individual, and you can't, he's not copyable, at least by Aaron. He's not copyable. And it was like, it became boring because now you were like, you didn't feel like you were getting his honest sort of goofball Midwest opinion. It was, you know, he became a tough guy and became very racist, right? Um, but I also picture April. April's attractive. She's young, and I picture her like looking up to him because he was making tons of money at the time, and it's like this and baby, this is what it's going to be. Baby, this is going to be great. Baby, we're going to do all these things. And a year later, she's like, we don't have any money, right? I'm
Yeah, we're
supposed to mail.
jingling for 300 every day. I gotta
I'm
wake up
supposed
at
to be
5 a.m. This is bullshit.
Right, I'm supposed to be mailing these fucking envelopes, and I'm hiding them in the closet. Uh, and it was just like, but that's what happened. I've seen that over and over again with people in relationships, particularly because it's the guy who's supposed to be the provider, but the guy is like all dreams, and then the chick is there, and she's like, one day she realizes like, what the fuck did I get myself into? Now,
Mm,
some people will continue with it. I don't think so
yeah,
in April's case, but it's so interesting to watch him today because it's like there is nothing that you could look at evidence wise that does not indicate that he's losing, and yet he'll
no,
come
yeah.
on every day telling you that he's winning. His numbers are down. He's had to reduce the goal. Um, I'm not a believer that he makes the goal. Now, I shouldn't I shouldn't be judging it, but the whole PayPal, Venmo, oh, people gave us money because of the people gave us money after the show was over. Oh, I got this. Somebody sent me a PayPal, but he never. It's interesting because it's like when the money is real, he'll go, JayMoe sent us $100, you know, and then
Hmm.
when this other money comes in, it's like a good person last night sent over 75, so we actually made the goal for that
Yeah,
time.
or it's like Venmo or something like that, and he does show. But yeah, I mean, but that's his whatever. He's got to do it. He's got to live with whatever lie he tells himself at the end of the
Yeah.
day, because he's going to be the one that's not going to. I'm telling you now, if he ends up having to do any jail time behind this sentencing that's coming up, he's going to lose his house. Like I'm telling you now, he's teetering the line. The way he panics about the goal, like that's not like just neuroticism. That's like, guys, I'm not going to lose my house. So could you imagine if he had to? Even if he had to do just weekends, I think it would fuck him over. Like I think it would cause problems. Like
Well, he bought like wasn't his car payment like 700 a month or something? Like
I don't know, probably.
no, but I mean he didn't go out and buy like a car that he could afford. He got like a giant truck, you know.
Yeah, you
Um
get like a suburban or an excursion or some bullshit.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like with the best package and all that other stuff. I'm I'm always interested in the economics of things, and that's one of my questions is like, wait, how do you pay your mortgage on your house, your bills, your child support, and all that stuff with what you're just doing here? It just doesn't seem possible. And lawyers,
Yeah, attorney fees are not cheap, boy. Let me tell you.
he did get lucky with the Todd guy because that's a flat fee. So he didn't
Yeah, he
owe that.
sucked. He
He
was
doesn't owe.
terrible.
I disagree, man. I disagree. That guy got Aaron a sweetheart deal, right? He got
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he did. He fucked himself on that one, but
all he had to do was shut his mouth. He would have paid $50, and boom, he'd have been done. You know, but he couldn't shut up.
Yeah.
So I think people going after Todd is wrong because I'm like, I think he got away. He got a misdemeanor. Yeah, it's a gross misdemeanor, but he could have been a felony charge.
All right.
And
Well, are you hiring Todd if you've got 20 years on the line right now?
no, I'm
All
hiring
right. That's
Todd,
all we need to know.
but he never
As
had
far as
20.
attorneys go. No, no, no. As far as attorneys go, especially criminal attorneys, if you can't, if you would say, I, if I'm facing 10 to 20 years and if I'm not even considering hiring that guy, he ain't a good attorney.
Yeah, I guess. But the thing is that if I were facing a DWI charge, I think I might hire him. I would hire him because I'll bet you that he could get you off. He's been doing it a long time. That's essentially what he does. He knows everybody involved, you know, and I, I
He's probably the attorney that gets you a deal. Like he's like, I'll get you a deal. Like I'm not gonna get you off, but I'm gonna get you a deal.
but yeah, but a deal is great in those circumstances because you're always going to in DWI. You want a deal, right? You want
Yeah,
to
that's a
avoid
lose.
jail
Yeah,
time,
it's a
and
loser. Yeah,
you want a
that's a
deal.
loser in court because they usually use science to beat you. But
Yeah, and he wasn't. And what he did with Gino, sending that picture, um, there was no way out of it, and he admitted he did it. So it's like he was fucked. And I thought, under the given the circumstances, I thought Todd did a decent job. Now, if I was up on a murder rap, would I hire Todd? No, but I wouldn't hire a flat rate attorney anyway. You know,
no, no,
uh,
not for that. No, no, no.
and but I'm laughing. Panhandler Moobs lost his Twitch because that idiot Matt has strippers on his channel. Yeah, that was his. That was what he tried to say.
Now,
Right? He
where's
tried
that
to blame.
panhandle? I gotta go soon. This fool's gonna
Tried to.
hide out
I'm
all
trying
day
to
or
get.
what?
Oh, you can. Yeah, you're welcome to take off whenever you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna go here
Um,
in probably like 5 minutes because
cool.
I got some
You
other.
anyway. So listen. Let's just get back to this stuff.
Yeah.
What if I asked you? I said, give me the top 5 shows that you like to watch. What would they be?
I would say, honestly, for me, I would say probably I still like to watch MLC. I don't necessarily watch it all the way through, but I still enjoy watching it. Kevin still makes me laugh. I enjoy. I like to watch Melton Show. I like to watch Mersh's Nightwave.
When did you start watching? Did you watch Mercer's Nightwave when he was on Rumble only, or did you just pick him up recently with the YouTube stuff?
I only watch the clips because it's a real fucking pain in the ass to watch anything on Rumble. I'm gonna be upfront with you. It's a real fucking nightmare.
So I,
Honestly, it's a nightmare, and I don't understand. It shouldn't be, but it absolutely is. But yeah, I watched the clips and I only found out about Mersh because of getting myself involved in all this other junk. So originally, it was I probably found out about him about a year and a half, 2 years ago. You know, but like I was mostly a clip watcher. I didn't really watch. I watched the underscore Mersh clips and all of those. But I was like, I kind of like them. I know the point of this is to make me not like them, but I'm like, I don't necessarily hate them. Um,
yeah, I got
for
into
me,
him.
anyway.
So I would watch Dixon, right? So I paid for the Rumble premium subscription. So I'd watch Dixon, and then Dixon would do the thing where you would get the notification that he was going live, but then he'd play music for like a half an hour, 45 minutes, and like I didn't. So in the meantime, I would like watch Mersh, and I was like, oh, this guy's pretty interesting. Because everything I'd heard about Marsh was like the porcelain documentary.
Yeah, yeah,
He's a racist, anti Semite, piece of shit. Um, and he may very well be all those things, but he's also very funny. And part of the deal I like about him is when he'll tells stories, like when his car got repoed and he's telling the Walmart story, like having to go to the and it's so sad, but yet he's telling it with conviction and
yeah.
honesty. So that was good. All right. So you said MLC, Melton, Marsh. Give me 2 more.
Um, oh, off the top of my head, I would say I'm trying to think. You got me on the spot here. I didn't know about a list.
Well, let me ask you this question. So, do you think do you think that there's tribalism? Do you think that you saying that you watch a show then gets
Yeah,
people
for
pissed
sure.
off at you for doing that? And are you do you sometimes, like, if somebody asks you a question and you leave somebody out, are you then like, I can't believe you didn't talk about me or you didn't mention me? Has that happened to you?
No, I don't really get a lot of that. I mean, definitely the tribalism, but I mean, I knew that going into it because you can watch like people in the it's but the tribalism is all with the people on camera. It's not really the I mean, it's pushed some of the agenda is pushed by chatters, but for the most part, when you watch, it's all the same fucking people in all the chats. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, these ones are only in the. There might be five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, maybe that are only doing this one show. But for the most part, you're seeing the same hundred so folks frequenting
So
every.
we're doing part of why I'm asking you this is we're doing a Dabbleverse census. So we're
Mm,
trying to put together uh, a list of all the people in the Dabbleverse, be they streamers, be they chatters, that's trying to get this, like, just to get a list together. And part of the reason to do that is I'm trying to find out what the real number is. You know, like, you'll hear some people will say there's 1,000, some will say five, some will say 10. Um, but I'm trying to pull it together. I notice the same thing you do with the chatters, which is it seems like it's the same people in the same chats all the time. But I don't know, is it the same people in the same chats all the time, or is it that the people that stand out in the chats are the ones that I see more often, and the other ones I tend to ignore? Like, are there people that chat and probably regularly chat, but they don't have a unique name and they don't have like a unique take in their chats, or their chats don't stand out? So
yeah,
do
but
they?
there's like this. The yeah, I mean, I guess, but it's like really like you'll see the same you'll start seeing the same names over and over again, even if it's not necessarily a unique name, if they're over and over chat, but I'm sure there's some of that too. But I mean, yeah. I mean, for the most part, it's the same folks.
Liquid Cryptid says, put me on the list. It's about 3K ish. Um, I'm going to ask you to reserve your thing. I am going to try to put this together as best as we can. And then I'm throwing it to my math whiz friend um, to try to statistically correct it, right? Like where I went wrong. And then the first question I'm going to be is, how many people do you think are in it? And I'm
Mm.
just going to try to get a bunch of numbers from people and then sort of reveal at the end what we think um, of that. Have you had any have has anybody done any shows about you yet? Has that happened?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Off the top of my head, I can't give you an example, but I'm pretty sure like Karmic has, and yeah, but and nothing too crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. NPS did the one on me the other night, and which I haven't seen yet. And your boys Mir and Chow uh, did one on me, and I got a chuckle out of it, and I was like, going, this is pretty funny, and
Mm.
there was a certain feeling of, wow, I can't believe anybody would be that interested it, to do that. So that was pretty cool. All right. So are there any, like, so you gave me some people. Anybody off the top of your head that you think we should, like, be keeping our eye on, like, up, maybe an up and comer, somebody new, somebody that we don't know about?
Hmm. Brandon Deft has been making some big waves lately. I would say him, Brandon Deft. He's been streaming frequently. He's been making clips. His clips are getting played on bigger shows now.
It's interesting that you say that. And if you'd asked me, I probably would have forgotten as well. I have been watching Brandon's stuff pretty regularly. Actually, sent him a DM the other day that said I was enjoying it, and
Mm.
he had Ashley on Monday, and then I went on with them for a little bit. Then that was very cool. And then two questions left, and then you can leave, and they're both pretty simple. Any chatters that you like? Let's say beloved chatter is considered, one of the chatters, the bigger chatters or whatever. Um, Anybody that you think is good or funny or um, gets chatter of the day often, uh, does anything humorous?
Oh, man, there's so many to choose from, to be honest with you. Um, Sam Bibley's been really hitting them lately. I believe his name has been slung around for Chatter of the Year or what have you. So I would say him. But there's a lot of really good ones out there, to be honest. But there's a lot of funny people in these chats. A
It
lot of funny
blows me
people.
away how fucking funny people
Mm.
are. And the other part is like I will detect in my head, I'll be like, something's like there's something funny about what the person said, and I can't quite figure out what the joke would be or what it is. And then you see somebody put it in the chat, and you know, you're blown away. All right, so the last question. Um, if we're classifying, if we're saying the Dabbleverse, um, do guys like Jesse PS get included in the Dabbleverse? Is Mersh in the Dabbleverse? Um,
Mersh, yes. Jesse, I would say no, because he's more or less of an outside. I like I know of him because of the Dabbleverse, but that's because he's like a branch off of all these other things. You know what I mean? I would say he's kind of his own thing. I don't think he really, because he has. I don't really think he's free. Like he's not. He doesn't make the rounds on these other shows where he comes up. I wouldn't say in
right. So
that
you
way, but you
you
know.
wouldn't include you right if you were making a list of Dabbleverse people, you wouldn't include him. If you had like a uh, Dabbleverse adjacent or an occasional pop up, he might go there. But his stuff
I
is
mean, he's a
different.
star, but it's his own thing. Like he's not a. I wouldn't say he's definitely dips his toe in this, but he's not like every day trying to involve himself in it. I wouldn't say.
I have yeah, I don't really know the guy that much, and I haven't like looked at his numbers, and but doesn't he stream on his own? He doesn't stream on YouTube. He's got like
No, he does,
Pizza
but I think
Club or something.
he's got like his own thing too. But he does stream on YouTube too.
And have you seen Kino Casino?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen clips. I mean, they're really difficult to sit through. That fat guy is a lot, and I just don't have time to listen to screaming out of nowhere. Like I don't. It's a lot. I don't really like it, to be honest with you.
I I, I get it. I I I do understand. I think occasionally he hits it out of the park, um, but there's a lot of waiting in between, and it's tough. It's tough to do, and but and there's also so much it's almost steel toeian in the way that he has to sort of change what really happened to make it um fit the narrative that he's trying to come across with, you know, and then it
Yeah.
gets followed up. So that was like the Ricada with there was a Ricada thing where they thought Nick was recording and they booted him from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
court
yeah. I'm
Zoom stream,
familiar. Yeah.
and it wasn't. It was a mistake and whatever.
It
But
was
uh,
OBS. Yeah.
PPP or whatever his name is just went on forever about Nick and how stupid he is and getting thrown off and everything else. And then towards the end, he kind of mentions that it might not have been real, might have just been an OBS problem.
They
But it
were
was
also
like,
big proprietors of the Google Drive. There was a Google Drive, and the FBI. Nobody believed it. We're on that. Nobody cares.
well, that's the Google. Look, after the
They also
Charlie,
believe everything they read on Kiwi Farms. They treat it like it's news. It's not. There's like 12 people that go on there and take that as news. They just happen to be two of them.
I have to be honest and say I have no idea whether Kiwi Farms is news or not news. The site is just so old and so hard to for me to follow, and I don't, and I'm more of a Reddit guy, you know, kind
I
of
mean,
get me.
yeah, I mean, it seems like it's just a place for people to go and commiserate about things. More or less, it just seems like it's going on there, and everybody's calling everybody a pedophile. But that's the general gist I got.
Yeah, which seems to be happening everywhere. I was actually talking to a lawyer in Ohio who said like that's the new thing, you know, and he was
Hmm.
talking about it a lot in domestic relationships, and it was like, you know, the if you want to get to the you want to get to the husband, you sort of say, you don't necessarily come out and say it, but you say things like, "Oh, I'm worried about the amount of time he wants to spend with children," you
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
little things like that, and you're just like, and it's like, how do you fight a negative, you know? So in any event, man, hey, it was really good to have you on, and
Yeah.
I just anything else that you wanted to say, or
No, that's
where
it,
can
man.
we
I appreciate you having me.
where can we see you?
You can catch me over at JayMoe Inc. on YouTube and on X.
Are you
Come on
doing
by.
are you doing BYB regularly now, or is
Yeah,
it?
I've been doing it. Yeah, I've been doing it regularly.
Would you call yourself a regular co-host, or
Well, Quad
so?
calls me that. Yeah. So I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
so
so.
you can see JMO on BYB
Yeah, it's
Mondays,
very true.
Wednesdays,
You
and
can.
Fridays,
Hmm.
um, over there, and I'm sure you'll be on other stuff. And Guru One, you now have a reason to watch it. Uh, I never watched BYB. I did see a show with you on there not too long ago, and I was like, you've helped perk things up, I think. Added some freshness, and and that was great. So yeah, I'm a big JMO supporter, whether you
Well,
guys
thank you. I appreciate it.
believe that or not.
Oh
And
no, I believe it. I
but we
believe it.
hung out, you and I were like communicating, we were doing a lot of stuff, but what happens is you just get so busy. It's like you people, it's like you fall away, and then I was like, oh man, this Saturday I think we'll have an opportunity, and this would give people a chance to get to know you beyond, because
Yeah, yeah,
you don't not doing your own streams and stuff, or you I did actually, I shouldn't say that, you were doing some because I've watched them.
yeah. I think I'm probably
um,
gonna do one here in a little bit. After I
yeah,
go do one or two things, I might do one here in a little bit.
yeah,
I got
so
to get some hours going on this thing. I've got like 200 hours. It's sad.
yeah, but I'll tell you, dude, it builds up
Oh yeah.
really quickly. And that was like my thing, was like I was worried about hours, and then all of a sudden you're like, you're looking and you're going like, holy shit, you know.
Hmm.
And for me, it's been subs, because I've been like slow, just moving, trying to go slow and just sort of learn what I'm doing along in the process. And I my biggest fear was getting categorized uh, in some weird group of people or something, and I didn't want to do that, you know.
Yeah.
So like I didn't want to be coming on in a bunny costume,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, and I don't like the doxing and
No. Yeah. Yeah. That's got to stop.
the other
Everybody's got to
stuff.
chill on that.
And I just think that there's enough people. There are people like we're talking about Aaron and whatnot, and I could pick on Phil Elmore a little bit. There's guys that there's plenty out there to go that's true, that's funny, you
Hmm.
know. Like I constantly laugh about Phil Elmore and he's doing defense videos now,
Yeah, I've
and
seen it. Hmm.
knife streaming and stuff like that,
Yeah, ninja swords. Yeah, yeah, I've seen it.
I'm like, the thing that I always think of is like having all that stuff is great, but it's never going to be handy when the moment comes up, you know?
Yeah, very true.
You're going to pull your ninja sword, you're going to pull your machete out of your pocket when the guy with the baseball bat shows up. All right, man. Thanks for popping on. And
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate you.
all right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Cool. So, that was JayMoe of JayMoe Inc. Who I wanted to come on, and it probably was not the interview that you guys wanted, but it was what I was hoping to do because I just wanted to learn about the guy and sort of introduce him and uh, make him to be more than a guy that uh, people just troll and shit. And he is also friends and streams with people who don't particularly like me. So I didn't. I didn't want to put him in a position where that would create problems, but we may not have gotten. Um, I I just didn't want to put him in a position where that would create problems. But in any event, we're here now. I don't know what Panhandler's probably asleep, and they call me the old man. Um, and I did send our friend Ava the link, and somebody said you would put Ava in the list, and I was like thinking, yeah, but you know what happens? I stream with Ava so much that I'm like, she's on my list. I think Ava's great. Um, so maybe we could make a phone call and call what do you call it? Oh, here we go. Below 20, heading to 10 live. I'm at 19. Now 21. There we go. So that's cool. But let's talk Dabbleverse, kids. Well, for a few minutes. All right. Did anybody see the Stuttering John stuff today? Um, I got to see a little bit a clip. I guess it was I think I'm gonna say Doom, but I don't really remember. And it was him going after Kumia. Um, and it, it John's delusion I just find so amazing. It just fascinates the fuck out of me. Like, how can you be so bad, like bad off? Like, we're watching you every day, and every day you like physically just look worse and worse and worse. And you went from Coors to Michelob Light, and now you're drinking Busch Light, and you're telling us because it's I don't know, some political reason. And no human on the planet drinks Busch Light unless they have to. And that reason is money. And because I'm sure if you took him out to a bar and you said, "Hey, I'm going to buy you beer," um, he would not be ordering a Busch Light. We all know that. Um, but I encourage you to read the court documents. Uh, it is an amazing insight into John, and everything that everybody said about what they think about what's bothering him, um, how he's sensitive about stuff, how he doesn't have money, all of these things, all confirmed in the paperwork. And it's confirmed from John's side, which is what's so amazing. And um, we joke around about uh, John's lawyer, but his lawyer is really served him poorly. So last Friday, they were supposed to submit some paperwork, and he got the paperwork. The guy got the paperwork, and he submitted it at midnight, which was the deadline, midnight Friday. Some of it came in late, whatever. The next day, um, they submitted all new paperwork and asked the judge uh, to they apologized. They said that it was inadvertently submitted. But what it was the draft of the documents. It was not the actual documents. So there's like this just whole bunch of shit in there that notarized statements, affidavits, John's words, and my God, they're revealing as fuck, and they're also comedy because it's like John is doubling and tripling down on lies. So then the next day they file the actual paperwork. And if you guys remember the couch cushions, so this is like you're in court about couch cushions. And he's claiming that at the direction of Shuli and Carl, or Shuli or Carl, or whatever, somebody broke into his private property and stole the couch cushions and then used them to humiliate him, which doesn't have anything to do with the case, I guess, because it's name and likeness. But anyway, the reality is that we saw the pictures. John threw those things out on the sidewalk. They don't belong to him. Nobody broke into his property. Nobody, but yet he keeps swearing to this stuff in court. Now he's got his friends, um, it's apparently his mother, Hitman Dan, and some other person filing affidavits about John's feelings about being recorded by Kate and how he was really hurt. And then the other side is saying, well, John put out videos, and the videos say that he knew he was being recorded and he was feeding Kate misinformation. And then they say, well, no, the videos were sarcastic. And then there's the video where John puts the dates out and he's got like all the stuff he did. So then he's got his friends coming in saying, well, that wasn't real. He really was hurt. Um, but my favorite was, he says in there about Kate Meany, um, and these guys, that they put the defendants. One of the reasons why they put it up was because they were jealous of the romantic relationship he was having with Kate, and there's less romance there than there is with Karmic and Felicia. It was unbelievable. Liquid Cryptid. At Juan Wang, I have a clip where she admits that calling Kumi a PDF is something she doesn't believe, but she says it to push her narrative. Um, Look, Ava has the link, so I'm not going to speak for her. But in our conversation the other night, I mean, um, I was thinking, like, you came in and you accuse this guy of all these things, then you wanted to get into a serious issue. Um, and is he just supposed to ignore that stuff? Is he supposed to just ignore the the calling of a PDF and a hack and all that stuff? And it's I'm like, I don't know. To me, it's like, if you were mad at the guy for the way he presents your trans issues and shit like that, that's one thing. But when you start calling people these other things, um, either have something to back it up, or don't bring it up. And it's almost like, well, I threw 5 things at him. One of those things stuck, and now he's required to respond to me. And she says that he did say he would have her on to debate it, and she prepped and everything else, and he never had her on. Um, I don't know that there's like such an obligation. Um, let's talk about let's talk about this stuff. Brent Monkhouse. Kate should sue him for defamation, saying that they was in a relationship. Yeah, it's a side. It's just briefly mentioned in there, and I don't remember who exactly it was that he was saying was jealous or something, but he definitely says romantic relationship, and is that one side or the other? I don't know. I'm gonna bring Nick in a sec here, and the other part is uh, he is fucked on the meanie shit. He is, but I'm gonna. We have a point about this, and Luigi Greenberg is the best guy to answer it, but I'll do it anyway. Hold up, but let's bring in OG. Hey, buddy, what's going on? OG Mumbly Nick, everyone.
What's up,
host
Mr. Buckman?
host of Dabbling in Politics
Oh
and
yeah.
co-host of uh Echo Pineapples Talking Shit, right? I got the right
AKA
one?
between two hacks, yeah.
Between Two Hacks, I apologize. Um the so I'm talking about the Stuttering John stuff.
Yep.
And I don't like you haven't read any of the court stuff, right?
No, I've seen Luigi go over some of it and, stuff like that, but I have not. Well, I skimmed through the first when he had the first, when it came out, I did skim through some of it, but I'm not gonna say I read in depth, no.
Um, okay, hold on one sec. So you when you read it, it's amazing. It's just I find it fascinating, but uh, for me, like I like reading court documents, but that makes me, so I'm an asshole, so that's partly why. But what's so interesting is the basis of his lawsuit is that Carl and Schmuel took his name and likeness and capitalized on it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And they did it without his permission. Whether or not that's a valid argument remains to be seen, right? But everything that he submitted, none of it goes to show that they did that. But it all does go to show that they mocked him. Uh, they it's he was mocked. His credibility was destroyed. Uh, all this other stuff. But all the stuff that he's bringing up, it has nothing to do with the name and likeness. Um, and it's weird because it's almost like the part of the things that they do bring up is almost like it would be like the defense would be bringing it out, not him, you know. And
Yeah.
that's it. It's so strange, and he really did. He's really hurt over what happened, and his comments is like there's so you never know. Normally, you would feel like a lawyer would put something in front of you and say, "Is this basically what happened?" And you would say, "Yeah," and then you would sign it. On this one, it feels like John wrote them.
Yeah,
And he,
I've heard. Oh, go on.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you're not the first person I heard say that. It's maybe it might have even been Luigi that he thinks John wrote some of this. And when I first read the first documents that came out, like I remember they got very repetitive. Like I felt like he was trying to say the same shit over and over again, just in like a different fucking way. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's bad. Either John did write some of it, or this fucking this lawyer is fucking like the worst fucking lawyer in the world. Besides
Look,
killing somebody.
I'll tell you what. I would take Todd V. Peterson over this guy any day.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there's so many things wrong with what the guy has done, but this is the biggest one is you when you file in New York State, um, when you file a case like this, right?
Mhm.
Um, you get one free shot to amend your complaint, right? And the first complaint that they filed spelled Benedict. So they refiled with Benedict spelled correctly. So they lost their opportunity to amend their complaint.
Oh my
So
god.
now they're asking the judge to allow them to amend the complaint, adding Kate Meany as a defendant
Yeah.
and making all sorts of other claims. But the reality is the judge hasn't approved it and may not. And they may have like pissed away their opportunity to do it. And then the second thing is they were supposed to submit the documents on one day and they missed the date of filing. And then when they did submit the documents, they were the wrong documents. And they had to refile the corrected documents. But the mistaken documents, if you read it, it'll say things like Heberger, Egar, and Kate. Like you can tell it was a draft,
Mhm.
right? Not like Ms. Meany or
Right.
whatever. Um, in that stuff stays in the record though, right? So even though the second stuff comes out correcting it, the first stuff is all still there. And I will use Luigi Greenberg's decision, just not decision, Luigi Greenberg's metaphor, which is it's like taking a shit in a clogged toilet, you know? And I was like, it gave me like, it made me squirm a little bit. And I'm thinking, like, if you've ever had to do that and you're like, I don't want to get any of this on me and, whatever. But um, it's wild. But uh, everything that we've thought about John and everything that people have said about John turns out to be true. Like the estrangement between him and his kids, um, the the can't go to the that the one daughter doesn't uh, daughter son, I don't know what I'm getting it right. The oldest, that trans
Yep.
kid, doesn't talk to him anymore, and it's created problems with that. That it created problems with Oscar. The third kid, I don't think he's allowed. I think there's an admission in there that he didn't go to he wasn't allowed to go to the high school graduation, you know, um, and it's all because of this. And you're just like, I get all that stuff. Like, I really do. Like, it's painful. I feel bad for the guy, but it has nothing to do with these other people taking control of your name and image for financial gain. And then this latest one, which is almost laughable, is um, they're asking the judge. There's so much stuff that's specifically excluded by New York law that would be allowed under like Florida law.
Hmm.
They're asking the judge to use Florida law in making the decisions. And you're like, you, do you know what an unjust enrichment is?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So in unjust enrichment, um, in New York, the way that I understand it, it would have to be a relationship. So it
Hmm.
would be like, um, you and I would have a contract, and I basically fucked you out of money
Yep.
and whatever. Well, in these cases, um, in New York, like, you have to have a relationship, and there's no relationship between these guys. They never had a business agreement, so it doesn't exist. Well, Florida allows that you could sue for that. New York doesn't, and they're asking the judge, well, under Florida law, it allows it. And you can use Florida law if you want to. And I'm like, it's crazy because all of the stuff, like um, the Kate Meany stuff, where she made the phone call from a one party state, right?
Yep.
And John's claiming it was illegal because he was California and it was a two-party state. They used John's own phone call to Donald Trump as that he didn't get it. And John, the call apparently was made from California, but since it was routed through New York, it was like a
Hmm.
way that they got around it. And you're just like, dude, you've lost. And all you're doing is just digging deeper and deeper into this hole. It is insane. And Frank says, is it confirmed John doesn't talk to his kids? Is it confirmed that Kumia messages people he thinks is a 15-year-old? Yes to the latter, but Schmuel won't talk about it. Well, the former is confirmed by court documents. Get me court documents that show the same thing with Kumia, and I'd be happy to confirm them. So there we go. Cigarette Jones, that's Wild Hoss, right in the center of the city. But it's just, Nick, it's fucking fascinating, and I don't get the point.
This is why I really do think Vince is involved, because I remember Vince hinting that John should do this when John was still away and Vince was doing his weekly whatever, VTL lazy lawyer show. And so either he talked to John directly, or he at least put the bug in John's ear that this would be a good idea. This would be a way to get some money, because Shirley and Carl fucked you when they charged money for that DoubleCon 2, or no, the tapes 2, or whatever the fuck it was. Um, and he listened to someone that fucking trolls him all the fucking time, and he always does these stupid lawsuits. He always wants like the quick buck or
But
not.
he doesn't really file he doesn't file lawsuits though. He's only really filed one. He's actually filed two lawsuits. One was the Sharon Stone getting beat up
Yeah,
lawsuit, and the other was the Sirius lawsuit. Now he's threatened a million times, but those are the only two lawsuits that he's actually ever filed.
yeah, all right, that's true. I just You're right. He does. He threatens a lot. He gets his lawyer friend to do favors, and which get thrown in his face when his lawyer friend finds out the fucking truth. But yeah, I don't know. Either he's really hurting for money right now, or he got conned into thinking like this could be an easy win for him, and he can get some revenge and get money at the same fucking time. But yeah, it's insane because like you mentioned, he's naming all these personal things that he's blaming on them, which may or true, but if it's true or not, I don't even think it matters because it has nothing to do with them making money off of his fucking likeness. It's just I think he's trying to get sympathy from whatever the judge, the jury, whatever, and hoping they'll rule in his favor. Just because.
But it's never going to get to a jury,
Yeah, I know,
right?
but he doesn't know that. Well, he doesn't.
Well,
I mean, I don't know that either, but I doubt it'll get to a jury. I doubt this will get past some kind of appeal phase or whatever. We'll
I
see.
don't know. I thought he was one of the great legal minds of our
Oh yeah,
time.
he's gonna be a
Um,
lawyer.
somebody somebody put him up. Somebody convinced him
Yeah.
that he could do this,
Hmm.
and I think he was probably predisposed to think that he could do it, and then somebody with a legal degree convinced him that he was right, and
Yeah.
that's why he's doing it.
Yeah.
And but it's real self-destruction, and if I watch I don't really watch his show, but I catch it from time to time, and like I saw a little bit today, and like it looks to me like it's taking a physical toll on him, and
Yeah.
it's got to be tearing him apart. And especially since Julie and Carl are not really talking about it.
Hmm.
um and, Luigi is whatever, but Julie and Carl aren't, and he's got to know that they're just laying in wait, because the minute this thing ends, they're gonna go balls to the wall with it. This is Dabblecon 3 written all over it. You know?
Yeah, his big problem is he drinks too much and talks too much, and he's already said shit on stream he shouldn't fucking say. Like whatever anyone thinks of Shuley or Carl, they're fucking smart enough to listen to their fucking lawyers and not broadcast this shit. And John says too much when he's sober anyway, and then when he does the drunk streams, he's just giving them. I'm sure I know for a fact they're recording all of it. Anything he says could be used against him, and he probably already said shit that hurt him, and he's probably gonna say shit that fucking buries him at some fucking point.
Well, that's the thing. But I want to do this Brent Monkhouse tweet chat.
Mm.
Truth is, it's because of them he actually makes money from his podcast now. And it's funny that you say that, Brent. When I heard this first was filed, um, that's what I said is John owes them money, because nobody would know if John had not responded the way John responded. This never would have gone anywhere.
No, like
No,
I said a long time ago that what's funny is they need each other. Like John would always say like he doesn't need them, Shuley and Carl, but we don't need John. And yeah, they've survived without John, but they didn't make as much. And ironically, when John left, that's kind of when the Devilverse kind of expanded and the karmics come in and other people and now all these smaller shows. Like I find myself watching the smaller shows and not really the big shows when it used to be the opposite. And I think a lot of that happened because John left and people were looking for new guys to cover, new things to watch. And now John's back and he's getting some money. I don't know, Shuley and them, maybe they're doing better. I'm not sure, but it's they need each other. Like John makes money off of the people that fucking don't like him and love TSN. And of course and he's got his supporters, but mostly off the trolls. And then TSN made better money when John was around, instead of all the shit they're doing now. So I don't know. It's ironic they fucking hate each other, but they almost need each other financially.
Well, it's a symbiotic relationship, right? And if you need an example, Melton has been doing very few shows for the last few weeks, since the HRO stuff and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and Steel Toe's numbers have been tanking at that time because the only people who are going to watch Steel Toe now are Aaron's fans, right? And a couple and people who are watching it to use the information later, when they can come back. But the guys that would be like see a Melton clip and then go, "Oh, I want to see what Aaron says tomorrow," they're not watching it,
Yeah.
and that's the bulk, and that's the bulk of the people. Um, and just to go back to something, you said about John and the videos and getting himself in trouble, with that. So that was actually the response of, Schul and Carly's lawyer. In Shuley and Carly, Shuley and Carl's lawyer, at one point, he was on there saying that, like, the evidence, because John submitted all this bullshit about being secretly recorded
Yeah.
and, them coercing Kate Meany into doing the recordings and stuff. And John has done he's very afraid, blah, blah, blah. And they said, here are the recordings where John said, this was the first filing that they did, where John said, I knew it was all bullshit,
Right.
right? I was, I was feeding her information. I was saying I was gonna like kiss her on the in top of the Eiffel Tower and stuff, just to get them, because I knew this was happening. And John's response was, that was just sarcasm and it wasn't real and he wasn't doing it. And then on the last one, they put in, the video that John has of him with the sports bet.
Yeah.
And here, and he does, and John goes through the whole like proving the dates and all that other stuff. And Savalos, the attorney for Carl and Shuley, basically just says, look, if you really want to know the dates and the process, just look at the video. It's there. And so now you've got this thing where he's got these videos out saying these are the dates, these are the things I'm doing, and then he's swearing in court that he's not doing those things. So were you lying then or were you lying now?
Right.
So it's like it's absolutely unbelievable. And I'm blown away. I'm gonna put up Abba's chat, which I think I disagree with. Bottom line is that John's show is more exciting and unpredictable than Shuley playing with puppets. Carl watching every second of the Steel Toe countdown for the 100th time. Um, I don't think that. I think that's a misrepresentation of what Carl is doing. I'm not a fan of the puppets, with Shuley, but um, I don't think I would call John's show exciting at all, and unpredictable in the sense of how much is he going to destroy himself. You know, like I can't believe that he still does drunk streams.
Yeah.
Like it will blow me away. You and I both have a history of things, and we both know that when you're actively engaged in certain substances, and whatnot, you do very fucked up things, and you learn that, oh, let me not do those things on camera, or let me put my car keys someplace where I know I can't find them while I'm doing this. Or if you were me, turning off your phone and putting it someplace you couldn't get to it at, so that you weren't texting ex-girlfriends in the middle of the night. Um, so it blows me away.
Yeah, I don't. It is amazing. Like I forget what day it was, but he did a fucking stream with somebody, and he might have even been by himself, or it could have been with Clay. This was early on when he first came back recently, and of course he's got the disclaimer on the bottom how he can't comment on the court case or anything Dabbleverse, and he's not reading any Dabbleverse questions. And that night he comes on shitface, and he either had on like Clearwater Chat or no, I don't think it was Chat. I think it was Nasty Neil, and I didn't watch much of it, but what I saw, he didn't have that guard up, so he's fucking reading everything, and he's not blatantly talking about details of the case, but he's saying shit he shouldn't be fucking saying, and that's just gonna keep happening. He doesn't seem to be able to, addiction. He just can't help himself. He's addicted to the booze, and he's addicted to the fucking streaming. And I'm sure now that money's coming in, not that it's tons of money, but it's money he didn't have coming in with these super chats and gift and the memberships and everything. So I
Man,
mean,
when you
he's
don't have money, even
yeah,
small amounts can be like
yep,
tons of money, you know? And that bush beer is not expensive. Um, so you can buy a lot of it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And
when John would always when he would talk about the KB thing, like, so and so, like calling Karmic or whoever, like, oh my God, KB gives you $100 a show. It's like, well, John, they go on a couple times, even if they go on 2 or 3 times a week, that's 300 bucks. Even if it's twice a week, that's $200 a week. That's $800 a month that they weren't gonna get. I mean, for a few hours work. I mean, fuck.
yeah, look, it there's nothing I would do it too.
Yeah,
I mean, if somebody offered me money to go on their streams, I would do it. I wouldn't do KBs, but only because
yeah,
I think I'd like to maintain my dignity, and a couple $100 wouldn't be worth it. Um, but John was like, I think he was started at like he would go on KB for 1,000, and then it's down to like 500, and he would want that on. And KB's like, he's not worth it,
yeah.
you know. So we're living in a world where it's worth more to KB to pay Karmic and MKE than it is to pay Stuttering John,
Yep.
world-renowned comedian and famous celebrity. I, that's it's crazy. But the thing about booze, I was thinking like he thinks he's a smart guy, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's convinced he's a smart guy, and I bet the one thing about booze is you get some in you, you think you're even smarter, and I got a better way to explain it. So like I think he thinks he's cheating the system when he does that. Like I don't think that he watches what he does.
No.
Cause go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm trying to figure. So I had a weird little interaction with him today, and I've been trying to figure out if he just forgot what happened between him and I, or if he just doesn't care anymore. I don't know, but I was gifted a membership the other day by Bo Beardington. So towards the end of John's stream today, I you get the free membership milestone chat. So I used it because John was fighting with Kumia in the chat, and so I used it to bring up how Kumia, challenged Ava, or said he would have Ava on his show and then didn't. So I was like, hey, did you hear Kumia pussied out with Ava and blah blah blah. That's what the chat said, something like that. So when John brings it up to read it, he goes, OG Mumble and Nick, my man, and then like reads it. I'm like, what? Your man? Dude, like, did you forget last year? Like, are you that wet brained, or do you just not care anymore? Was that all you doxed me for fun? Like, I don't know. It was fucking weird. And like I said, I still been trying to figure out if he literally, maybe, I don't think he could forget, but I don't know. I can't explain it. Like, him and I haven't talked. There's been no, truce or anything. I mean, we're not going after each other, but there's been like no talks or anything. So I found that amazing. He hasn't
He
called me his
he just
man in like a year.
he may just what do you call it though? Like you might be right. He might not remember
Yeah, it's crazy.
that he
Yeah.
might not remember the stuff. And it's like you put something in the chat that he took as pro him,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore you must be,
Right.
like, oh yeah, you're my man. He doesn't really. It's unbelievable. the stuff that he does. I just get so surprised. What with that he can repeat he look, it's like the dude is digging a hole and he just keeps digging it deeper and deeper. And it's like everybody around him has to be telling him, dude, you gotta stop. And he doesn't,
Yeah.
you know? And um and and his stuff leads to suspicion. So like why was he gone 8 months, right?
Hmm.
Like
Yep.
um and then what was it? And was it the mother? Was it the I I I don't know. But then you wonder like what it was. And did people just get tired of him needing money, you know? And this is what he goes back to doing? Or did he make like a good faith effort to work it out with his kids and he didn't? So it's like, well, why fucking give up all that money? You know? Because he came
Yeah.
back right around the time he filed the lawsuit, right?
Yeah. 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 Right around the time. Yeah. So yeah, I don't fucking know.
So he may, yeah, I think you might be right. It just the more I think about it, the more I think he thought he was just this was going to be a killer win for him. Like he was going to be Rocky at the
Mhm.
top of the stairs, and and it hasn't turned out that way. But I could see how making money would he's got to need it, right? Like he's got to need it. I don't know
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
else we could put it. And the mother's what, like 88? The reality is most 88-year-olds who have a son like John and family, they don't have money,
Nope.
you know? And I just I just feel like, and if she's been giving him money all this time, as she's getting closer to the end, the brothers and sisters got to be going, uh, excuse me, you know?
What kills me about John, well, obviously a lot of things, but is I can't even, like, this guy's about to be 60 and he's still clinging to what he used to be. Now I'm sure, like, don't get me wrong, what he was for what he had was I mean, he was on the Tonight Show, he was on Howard Stern, all that shit, and he names all this other stuff, but that obviously nothing compares to those two things. But
NFL
it's like,
Arm Wrestling Championship.
yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, I don't really, whatever, that garbage. But it's just amazing. Like he just repeats that shit over and over and over again. So he's more successful. Like he doesn't see still being married after 20 something years. It would be a success. Still having your children with you in your life is just like that's like a success to most of us, but he doesn't see that. It's all the celebrity, and like that's the shit. Someone that's about to be 60 and they still have that mindset about like how everything's about fame or being on TV, and certain types of fame like TV, movies, and radio. Like he doesn't realize that it's now about like Netflix apps or YouTube and all that stuff. That shit's all bigger than like radio. But yeah, it's I don't know. I can't imagine. Like, I'm not joking. Because I never really cared about. I never wanted to be a radio star or on the Tonight Show. Like those are never, even like from my fame dreams. Those weren't my dreams. I'd rather been like a fucking, the shortstop for the Boston Red Sox, or whatever, making movies. Like I never wanted to be what he was. So I would much rather have my life than his. Like, even though I had no fame, because I'm still married after over 20, for fucking 20 something years. I still got my family. I still, I don't have much money, but he doesn't either. So but
No, I mean, if he had done what he did, right, and had money and his family, I'd listen to all this bull. Like,
yeah.
I'd listen to it. I would take advice from a guy like that. But this is the guy. It's like he won life's lottery
Hmm.
and then just pissed it all away, and like can't seem to understand that like I pissed it all away. And he's 60 living in this delusion. And I'm sorry, but You can't be 60 and drink like he does and live like he does and maintain your health.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
I told people my father, like, there's parts of John that remind me of my late father. Now, my father didn't have a personality anything like John's, but they were roughly the same height, even like the same build with like the longer skinny arms and stuff. My father's name was, close to John's name. My dad drank Bush Light. It's fucking, but and my dad died at 57, you know, and here John is at fucking 60, about to be 60. So he might even be on borrowed time for literally all the alcohol, especially if he's still doing the fucking nose candy and other shit. It's like, Jesus, dude, get a hold of
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah. There's, and I experience would tell me that a guy that drinks that much booze is also not a guy going to the doctor,
Right? Yeah.
right? So it's not like, well, he's drinking this, but he's still taking his blood pressure medicine and his cholesterol medicine and and that stuff. Hell, I don't even know how. I don't know how he still gets a Xanax prescription, but I don't. Well, whether he does or not, I don't know. But it's like I was blown away that he was getting that before, and then when he was telling the story about not being able to get it in the pharmacy and having to go back to urgent care to get it, who goes to urgent care to get Xanax? You know what I mean? Like that's like you're like a pillhead if you're
Yeah, I,
doing that.
I don't know if that's a Florida. I can tell you up here, they won't even give you anything like that in fucking urgent care. You got to go see like your regular doctor. They're keen to that sort of fucking thing.
Yeah, I was blown away by that. It was really interesting when I was in Australia. Um, I somehow it came up, and I was talking to somebody. You can't get it from your regular doctor. You have to go to like a
Hmm.
special doctor for that stuff. Now, I don't, it's 4 years. I don't know if it's changed. I don't think it has, but um, people were not popping it like they are up here. That's for sure. And it, but because here it just fucking handed out, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank God I
but
never liked benzos. Like I never, even my addiction day, I didn't like them. So thank God, because they
I
turn people into fucking zombies.
I like them. I like them very much, but I don't. But I was there. It was never. It wasn't a part. I was never addicted to them,
Hmm.
and I was more like my fave. I liked Ambien and booze were my favorites. Um, and when I started to get Xanax, I was almost like I would be like in a doctor's office and they'd be like, "Oh, do you need a refill of the Xanax?" And I'd be like, in my head, I'd be like, "Score,"
Yeah,
like, "Oh, I scored. This was all a score. Unbelievable." Um, let's just see what this says. Mark Abatista hid Doctor Plainlove. Get
that's
him
right.
his scripts, but I doubt anymore since we don't hear about him anymore. Oh, Dr. Plainlove. Is Dr. Plainlove the guy? Right. That was the guy who had the uh, drive in, fly in house and stuff.
Yeah,
Is that the.
John had this idea like he wanted Kate to bring a friend, and Kate could go with the doctor, and John can go with whatever Kate's friend, and they were gonna go on this guy's plane because he has a plane like at his fucking house or something, and fly
Yeah,
to
he's gonna.
the
Kristen
Keys or
Carney,
whatever.
I think, was the girl. The
Yes, that's
other.
who it was. Yes, yes.
Oh my. Yeah, I mean, look, I got to tell you, man, she was how old at the time of these tapes? Like 24, 23, 24, something like that. And he's in his late 50s. It's like, it's sad, you know? It's like, it's just sad. It's sad that he would be even thinking, not that it was a possibility, but like wanting to do it is like fucked up, you know?
I literally I thought about this one of these times because um so I have one of my kids is 14. He's kind of got his first girlfriend. She's 13. She was over again today. So I'm thinking, I did the math once because he's been dating her for a little bit, and it's like I am roughly the same age difference as this 13-year-old girl that John is with Kate Meany right now. And I get it, it's different because Kate's legal, but it's like if 12 or whatever 12 years from now, I'm trying to hook up with this fucking child that's in my fucking house right now, and it's fucking disgusting when you like think about it that way. Like I don't know, I just don't know. Like when you younger guys may not get it, but when you get older, it's like certain age is just too young for you. Just they're kids, you know. And I don't even mean kids. Like I'm in my 40s, and a 25-year-old is a fucking kid to me. So I can't imagine being almost 60 and looking at a fucking 25-year-old.
Well,
It's
it's the same thing with me. Like I call people. I will call somebody a kid, and uh, I'll find out that they're 30. You know,
mhm.
like, and uh, and you couldn't. I couldn't imagine being with him. And it's like Keanu and Gino are separated by like 20 years, 26 years or something, some insane number. Um, and I don't know. Like I start thinking about practical. Like if I was the girl, I'd start thinking about practical things. Like,
Mhm.
oh, do I want to spend my time taking care of
Right.
their old in them in their old age? You know, and where's it where's it gonna go? And uh, there's like with my wife, there's more than a decade, less than whatever, but a reasonable number. But I'm like, um, that even feels like a lot, you know?
Yeah, the
So,
guy, I have a second job landscaping. I've known the guy forever. He's a friend now, but he's 13 years older than his wife, and even that, I remember their wedding. You know, he's like in his mid to late 30s, so you get all these like guys, whatever. He's probably like late 30s, so he's probably like 37 at the time, and so all his friends are like 37, and then the bride's friends are all like 24 years old, or whatever, and it's like this. It's such this weird dynamic, and that's like half of what John and Kate are, or some of these other people. It's I can't even imagine.
right. And there's also, I don't know, there's also responsibility, right? Like, this Kate kid is younger than his daughter, at least one of them, right? Um, but all the stuff where he said she was a cokehead and fucked up and a high price hooker and all that other shit. Um, if that's true, you shouldn't be fucking around with it, right? Like, as an adult, you should be, yeah, this person's got real problems and this is not going to help them.
Yeah, that was one of the more disgusting. I think I either went live or I made a video on that when John did that, when he was trying to claiming Kate had this monster coke addiction and he's trying to help her when really he's trying to fuck her. So I it's extra disgusting that, like, because if it is true, that's like, dude, you're trying to take advantage of someone who's young and battling addiction, and you're trying to take advantage so you can get fucking laid, and it's like, but you're acting like you're trying to help her get sober, when really we all know you're like either bringing the coke or asking her to get the coke, and you want to do coke with her because coke makes people horny a lot of times, and coke makes people do things they wouldn't normally do. So if she's an addict on top of it, you're just total scum, total
Yeah, and
scum.
he was because he wanted her to go to like the nephew or cousin's wedding or something,
Yeah, yeah,
and was telling her that he could get the coke, and you're like, I, I just, I get blown away by a lot of stuff that he does, but and then he goes on stream and he's claiming the moral high ground.
yeah.
It,
It-
I just, I'm totally blown away. And I mean, say what you will about Kumia, but the guy he does not claim, in this regard at least, he does not claim the moral high ground. You know,
Yeah,
um,
no, I'm no fan of Kumia, but you're right in that regard. He doesn't. It's not like he's acting like he's holier than thou. He admits to some of his you know,
he's a yeah.
scumminess. Yeah,
He says he's a piece of shit, and he also says he likes younger women and stuff like that. But um you don't hear him saying, "Well, yes, I'm with somebody much younger than me because I want to help them," you know?
yeah.
And if you're trying to help and save somebody, you shouldn't be trying to sleep with them at the same time. Just an opinion.
No, that's all
Um,
John thinks about. Like I laugh when not laugh, but he'll like I don't know, like he doesn't realize, like, dude, you're 60. You should be dating women like in their fucking 50s or whatever, 40s tops at this point, and what's he gonna be, 70, 80, and he's trying to bang a 30-year-old? It's like, dude, you gotta grow up at some point, man. We all get older, we all age. It's not about fucking hotness and sex at some fucking point, but
But none,
whatever.
but it fits, right? It fits with um this thing, like his brain has stopped when at the Tonight Show, right? When he was working
Yeah.
at the Tonight Show, like I made, he still thinks he's that guy that made all that money, right? He still thinks that he's like a sexual champion, this stuff. So it's like it just fits. It's like stunted growth, and he can't get past it. And then he's got to make rationalizations for it because there must be some honesty that seeps in, right? There must be some honesty that um, says this is wrong, right?
Yeah.
And he had said he would never date anybody younger than his daughters, but yet he makes an exception for Kate. Um, so it's like, there, it's got to seep in. It's got to be. I just feel like it's got to be tearing him apart on the inside. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he I don't know if he has those kind of feelings, to be honest with you.
Or
Like,
they're covered up by the drink.
it could be. Like, I used to have, before our whatever, our blow up. I used to feel bad for John with the kids stuff. Like, I used to hate it. Like, even though I was a TSN fan, I would vote, I would speak out in the chat. I used to hate it when they would say certain things. Like they weren't like mean to John's kids or anything. They would bring up like, oh, this kid's not won't talk to him. He had to buy this one a car. And it's like, I almost thought that was bad and good. It's like John was willing to buy his daughter a car just so she talked to him. Like, I as a father, I can't imagine, like, what if your kids don't like you or not want to talk to you. It's gotta be awful. So I would feel bad for all that shit. And then it's like, I don't, like, it has to bother him, and then he'll use whatever his kids are going through is to try and get sympathy for himself. And it's like, well, like when you hear it on the Kate tapes, or you hear him with other conversations, and it's like, if you're a father that loves his kid, you don't do that. I'm not He obviously has to love his kids, but so I don't know if he's just drinking himself numb to not have to feel whatever's going on between him and his kids and everything, or what. But uh, I, I don't know. I lost my train of thought a little bit, but I was just basically saying, like, as a father, I used to feel bad for him all the time, and but then I see the things he does, and it makes you like, you don't feel bad after either. If he could just be a half fucking decent person, but he doesn't seem to know how.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for him. Mark Abatista says he literally said we fell in love the night he
Yeah.
slept in the chair. He's a piece of shit, no way around it. Um, yeah, I think that's true. I know enough people my age who have kids that don't talk to them, right?
Mhm.
Um, and it blows me away because they blame the kids, you know? And I've known them, and I've known them forever. And I'm like, it's not my job to say anything to them, but you were fucked up, you know?
Mhm.
And one of the things that have seen that creates a lot of like this tension between adults and their adult children is the parents were like self-absorbed. Everything was me, 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 me. And the kids suffered for it. And I just can imagine with John, that's the way it was. I,
Yeah.
you know, and all those stories, like his wife at the cooking it for the Super Bowl, and she's 9 months
Mm.
pregnant, and um, all that stuff. It's like, um, it's crazy. It's like none of it is his fault. Even like just statistically, some of the things, if all those bad things are happening, some of them have to be caused by you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he never. No, you're right. It's never. I don't know. It's never his fault. At the same time, it has to. This is where I get the John tug of war. It's gotta suck having this universe know like fucking everything about you and your kids, but he's also the person that repeats the shit all the fucking time. Like I always think like he always accused Carl of saying things about his kids. I've never heard Carl say them. I've only heard John repeat them 1,000 fucking times, and it's like, stop fucking saying that shit. I'm sure that's the shit that bothers your kids probably the fucking most. You talk about them, you drag them into this universe. You won't let it go, and then I see your child's address being doxxed in the fucking chat over and over again, and you do nothing. You'll block Penis Wrinkle for saying whatever about you, but you're letting your child's address just fucking be shown over and over again. I don't get it.
Yeah, look, yeah, I don't get it. I just don't get it either. And when you say that the stuff about like Carl and saying things or whatever, I've never heard Carl do it either. Eh, But I feel like everything that we know about John, it's not like they went and hired a private investigator to find out these things. It feels
Right.
like everything we know about John is from what John told us.
Hmm.
And he responds to everything. Um, when he was, when somebody said he wasn't allowed at his daughter's wedding, or he wasn't invited to his daughter's wedding, right?
Yeah.
Um, he could have just ignored that, right? And he didn't do it. But instead, he made up the COVID story. Oh, it was COVID and nobody went there and whatever. He could have just not said anything. But yet he had to make up a story, and then it's such a bad lie, it just makes everything worse, you know?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and, but the kid and people got, first of all, the 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 trans kid uh has always had like mental problems, and
Hmm.
she's written about them and she's talked about them. And it's like, you can say that's my daughter's life, but these trying to make, he takes these stories about her to try to make himself look like a hero when we have evidence that's published that's opposite, you know? And it's like, you make him, both of you look bad. And then him threatening other people's kids and saying he has pictures of Shuli's kids, and
Yeah.
oh, it's just like, I just, beginning, not beginning, I firmly believe that John wants all this crap. Like, he wants this heat to do it. And he was perfectly happy with making money on it,
Yeah.
you know?
Even just a small example of possibly John wanting it to. I'll bring up an issue I had with him when I was fighting with him shortly before the doxing. Um, I I tried making a point like when I was live, and I was like, because John kept saying that he had a PI or whatever that had this info that I was working with Shuli and all this stuff. I was trying to set him up. It was fucking crazy. So I was like, yeah, John. I'm like, I got a PI too, and he tells me you may or may not have had sex with an underage prostitute, and she may or may not have been Asian. And then I continue on and I go, it's the same PI that you have, John. It doesn't fucking exist. I'm explaining a fucking joke, but of course one of his guys clipped that 60 seconds where I said, you may or may not have had sex with a prostitute. She may or may not have been Asian. John plays it. He flips out and he changes it to claiming he kept claiming I slept with a 14-year-old prostitute. I never gave an age, and all of a sudden he's saying 14, so it sounds even worse. And he just kept saying it, so then he got clipped, and it's almost like he created that. He created that out of nothing. It became like a drop, and then for a brief while, people are making fun of him for sleeping with an underage Asian prostitute. And like I said, he created that whole fucking thing. Like almost like I swear it's almost like he did it on purpose. It was that's what I was thinking at the time.
So Frank is up here, and Frank says being obsessed with hating Aaron and our steel Stutcho is mental illness. Uh, People might say that about somebody who needs to troll chat every night. I don't know. Could be wrong, but maybe. Um, I'm hitting the button. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna be rocking out of here in a minute because my head's gonna hit the table any minute. But what is your schedule? So you do your politics show tomorrow, or
Yeah. Yeah, Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my channel, OG Mumbling Nick. It's called
daylight time,
Dabbling in
Eastern
Politics.
Daylight Time, sir?
Whatever. 9 p.m. Eastern. Oh, before we go, did you hear the Joey C. SWAT story from earlier today?
No, I did not.
There's not much to it, but he went into. I didn't see it live because I think I was watching Pineapple or about to go on Pineapple show, but someone told me about it, so I went back and watched. Joey showed up in one of Jake Hudson's streams today, claimed that the SWAT team showed up at his house today, and he was blaming Jake for calling. So Jake was like flipping out, saying it wasn't him. It was fucking weird. So then Cut of the Jib was like, I'm gonna get off, Jake. I'm gonna call Joey. And all of a sudden Joey like puts in the chat, Jake, tell Jib my phone broke like a half hour ago. I'll have a new one on Monday. So I don't know if Joey's making up some fucking new story about the SWAT team showing up at his house or what, but he got Jake all fucking riled up. It was
Uh,
fucking crazy.
I I believe that Cardiff will find out
Mm.
Monday
Yeah.
morning because that's what's his name, Chad, tried to do the same thing and say that the cops were at his door and whatnot, and Cardiff got in touch with the cops and there was no report of
Yeah,
that.
it's something you can find out easily. I used to work with a guy got fired because of that. Because he called out so much, and when he would call out, he would always come up with an elaborate story just instead of saying I'm sick. So he got a warning. Finally, one day he didn't call out. He missed like almost the whole day, and then he emails, my house got robbed. They took my phone, so I couldn't call." So like, all right, bring the police report tomorrow. And of course he didn't. And one of the bosses had a brother who was a cop, and of course there was nothing. But you can find that shit out pretty easily. So
Well, yeah, and Florida has a real strong sunshine law, like with public records and stuff.
yeah.
Like, I found out here recently that in New Jersey, they do not have to give the police blotter to the news. There are reasons why they don't have to do it, but in Florida, apparently they have to. Um, that the public is entitled to all these things. So uh, it's pretty stupid to do that. But
Yeah.
then Joey C has never been known for excessive intelligence. I always thought it was really interesting with Joey C. So the day I fell and hit my head, right, and I came and did a stream. I was a little dopey, but I did stream, and I had like the big kind of blood scar, was
Yeah.
still in my hair and shit. And like an hour later, Joey C hit his head on concrete, and and I am just like, wait, is he making that? Did he hear what happened, or is he making that up, or was like in the zeitgeist of the Dabbleverse, it was like, oh, this, you hit your head kind of thing. And I had shown it, and he just kind of hurt. And oh, yeah, I had my head.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't know it was me or anything. It just hurt it, and he needed an excuse. And it was like this elaborate story of concrete and walking into it and everything else. And I just slipped on something, you know? Um, but it's just like, it's so weird with him. I mean, he did the coma thing,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And he goes so far as he has Christina put out a picture of him
Mhm.
with the ET tube and all that other bullshit, and the fucking date was written on it, and it was from like 3 years earlier. It was like when he had gotten stabbed by his daughter, and you're just like, like how stupid do you think we are? And then or calling a fucking ambulance, right? He had the ambulance take him to the hospital because he wanted to make a stream. That was the reason why.
Unreal.
Looking for the I just it 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 blows me away. And those swatting stories are scary
Yes.
because somebody could really get hurt.
Mhm.
you know, and misunderstand things, and it's not like it hasn't happened before. But wow, I have to check into it. I've been avoiding Joey C stuff. The only Joey C news I really get is from Eckel and Rochi,
Yeah.
and because I was watching last week, and Joey was talking about his not Ozempic, Zepbound that he was
Mhm.
taking, and and he's been on it like 6 or 8 months, and he's lost 11 pounds. And I'm like, that's less than people lose on like a really non-strict diet, especially a guy his height and weight. And so I'm like, this it none of his stuff adds up,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And I've known plenty of people on that, and the one thing they say is they can't eat. Not that they're gonna if they overeat they're gonna throw up, or they just can't eat. Like I I couldn't do it. It would just looking at it was wanting to make me throw up. And Joey's telling these stories of like, oh yeah, well I got a pizza and like ate the whole thing and then I threw up because that's what it makes you do. And you're like, oh, but that's it's not. In any event. All right, my friend. You have a good night. I think my one wonky eye is getting even wonkier. Just looking at it in the thing. I think my right eye is going farther and farther to the right. Or maybe I'm just trying to become like Mersh. Um,
Maybe.
I want to do him. In any event, good to talk to you.
You as well.
Give me your three top shows that you watch.
In the Dabbleverse?
Yeah.
Or
Well, on if you had to pick if there are three shows on YouTube that you watch uh, that you feel like are a kind of appointment viewing, what would the top three be? They don't have to, it could be anything.
ooh, top 3. Jeez.
I would hope they're Dabbleverse because otherwise people are gonna shit on you.
Yeah, I'll just go Dabbleverse then.
Yeah, good idea.
All right. So, I gotta I watch my buddy the Pineapple whenever he's on.
Okay.
Um, I do. Well, I still watch. Who are these broad WATP?
Uh
Sorry,
huh.
who are these podcasts? Sorry.
I got it.
Um, and I guess I'll finish it off with who else do I watch? I more join in than watch these days. But hmm,
Well, you can chat. I'm just
yeah.
saying shows that you're not that you and you can go on occasionally, but not like a show like this where you're on a lot.
All the time. Yeah. Let me see. I guess oh, Jesus. Fuck. See, I don't really watch TSN too much anymore. Sometimes I hate watch John, but I don't enjoy it. So I'm trying to think. Then pretty much everything else is like something I participate in.
You're allowed to hate watch it. It's just three shows that you feel like you need to
All
say
right,
or you
just
want to say.
you know what? Put Joey C in there. Whenever he's on, I see what he's fucking doing.
All right.
Yeah.
And then last question. Who's your favorite Clipper?
Oh, jeez. Um, right now it's Sam Bibley. It's fucking hilarious.
All right. Good choice. All right. I'm putting my list together. I'm coming back to haunt all of you. No,
No.
I'm putting my list together. I'm just trying to see get names. I have to be honest with you. When I first started asking the question about top three or top five, um, I thought everybody was going to have easy answers.
Mm-hmm.
If I ask top three, they'll give me the first two and have a real struggle with the third.
Yeah.
And if I ask five, I'll get their top three. And the numbers 4 and 5, they'll have a real struggle answering. And you know, I I wonder if sometimes because it's people that are obviously they're on stream, so I'm always like, gee, I wonder if asking them is like they're afraid they're gonna leave out their friend or somebody, you know? And like because I used to bust Sarah's balls. Whenever Sarah would go on, he wouldn't mention me.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
always call him up and I'd be like, "Oh, you said that show's good, but you didn't mention me at all. What about the show? You're a co-host and you can't even talk about us." And just, but the great thing about Sarah is Sarah just tell you to go fuck off. You know, no worries about it. All right, my man. Thank you so much for coming on. Have a good
Thanks
night.
for
Good luck.
having me.
What's the topic tomorrow? Or is there one?
It's for the second week in a row. It's going to be related to the Charlie Kirk assassination and some of the aftermath. So,
All
um,
right. And by the way, you said you did ask me on or something. I don't remember it. I was kind of just breaking your balls.
those-
Um, by the way, and I'm not asking for a thing, but I do have thoughts on the Jimmy Kimmel firing
okay,
or letting go, and I have a personal feeling that um, ABC they'd given him a contract, just sort of new ownership and all these things. Everybody's starting to look at money, and I do get a feeling that it was serendipitous. Um, I don't like. Did he get canned or indefinitely suspended because of saying stuff? Yes, but if it had been, if his show was killing it, making money, and it wasn't so expensive, um, I don't think that would have happened.
yeah, we'll definitely have you on one of the shows. So I still think it's the fucking head of the FCC threatening because they need permission to raise this. Like right now, you because they want this merger and you can't own more than like 39% of some whatever network or something. They're gonna have to change that rule to get that merger through. They know they're getting threats from Trump and the FCC guy. So I think that played a lot into it. Yes, none of these late night shows make money anymore, so that is true. Ironically, he was fired 24 or whatever, suspended 24 years to the day that ABC did the same thing to Bill Maher, and Kimmel was Bill Maher's replacement. So it's a little
Yeah,
ironic.
that's interesting. I do think what Kimmel did was despicable, but that's an entirely different um,
Interesting.
issue.
Yeah, I don't think he said anything that bad. I still can't figure it out what he said, but
I
sorry.
thought he was. d- Look, I didn't see it. I read it, and what I read, he said that it was the MAGA people that shot Charlie Kirk.
He said the MAGA crowd is trying to pin it on anyone but themselves, and at the time that's what they were trying. And granted, it's not a MAGA person. It doesn't appear to be. I still don't trust Cass Patel, so I still don't trust everything we're hearing. But obviously, it doesn't appear to be a MAGA person. But when he said it, they were just trying. Oh, the shooter's trans. Oh no, he's not trans. Okay, he's a liberal. Like that's what they were doing, and that's kind of what he said. It wasn't. Then he made
Except that
fun of
he
Trump
was
after.
not, but they knew at the time that the guy, or whatever.
Yeah,
I,
we can say
I
if it's
think
Schmuel.
I think that I just feel like they had established the fact that it was not a MAGA guy by the time he said it, and uh, whatever. But look, yeah, this merger stuff and everything else. But my personal opinion would be I wouldn't let Disney own, not Disney, but I wouldn't let any of these corporations own more than what the original established number
Yeah,
was.
I'm with you. Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
I right, left, center, but I guess it's true. Like they are broadcast networks, but who who gets broadcast TV anymore? You know, so they are fighting against the other, the Foxes and the CNNs, Time Warners and those
Mhm,
guys. They can just do whatever the fuck they want. So I get it, but uh, you know, I back in the old days, I got pissed off when they let Rupert Murdoch own the Post and the TV stations.
mhm.
Right? Remember those days?
Yep,
We're old. All right. Well, I am
yep.
anyway. Good night, my friend. We'll
Take it
talk
easy,
about this
Phil.
later. Bye.
Peace.
Good night, everyone. It was a very low key stream. Thank you for the 18 that have stuck in with us. And Schmuel is apparently one tired boy. And I've been on a bunch of stuff this week between working and I did Luigi's show last night. So I will be back. Uh, oh, announcement. Um, Tuesday's show is going to move to Wednesday this week because I don't think I can be here. But I'll put that up in a post. And we look forward to having Dr. Steve is a guest, I think next week. And I've got a couple of surprises up my sleeve. And I'm very close to the 500, so if you would help and um, subscribe or accost your friends and neighbors and get them to subscribe, and I don't care whether they have a blue or a red sign in their yard, we could use it. And but you guys all have a good night. Nick put his show in the chat. Unfortunately, can't click on it, but it's uh, OG Mumbling Nick on YouTube, and if they've got it scheduled, then you go up there, you subscribe, and just set your notifications to all, and when they go live, um, you'll be notified. And Nick's a good egg, and Nick does an interesting show. And even though I break his co-host's balls, um, they do an interesting show together. So I would say go on there and watch. Cigarette Jones, I watched it last week. Cigarette, thanks you for staying on for so long. I never thought we'd go 3 hours, um, especially at this low energy. But thank you guys so much, and good night.